how you're Manny, and then your last initial is T.
Yeah.
So you're a Manny T.
I'm a manatee.
And
Yeah.
you could have some kind of like manatee mascot guy.
I could.
By the way,
A
the way Manny
sea
responded
cow.
to that, was like a father being very disappointed in his son. Like, he was like,
No, it's more like father being just like boredly repeating whatever their kid just said.
That's not what I meant to do.
Manatee,
Yes,
good
that's
job,
very
good job,
nice.
bud. Good job, buddy.
Good job.
That's very good, son.
Very good. Very good, dear boy.
Well, yes, some words sound like other words, as it turns out. That's a skill you'll need if you want to. I don't know.
If you want to make it in this world, boy.
Yeah, if you want to make it in this world, this cutthroat, dog-eat-dog world.
God, that's so funny. Oh man, I didn't even make.
Yeah, that
I
is so
didn't
funny.
mean
We gotta
to
save
say.
that shit for the stream.
Hey, I streamed while you guys were talking about this manatee fiasco.
Yeah, fiasco. There's a 10-cent word.
Oh, that's great. I love you guys.
Yeah.
We're a minute in already. Boom. Just quality gold content right there.
Oh, are we actually streaming? Are we up?
Oh, we're up. We're up.
How about it? I don't see you on
Fantastic.
Twitch.
That's all. Twitch is lying to you.
I just popped up.
It's really funny when I type Twitch into my browser, it auto-populates your channel because that's the only thing I watch on Twitch.
So same.
Hey, I'll take it.
Yeah, dude, we're super fans.
Super fans. You guys just can't get enough, can ya? Goodness.
No, dude.
Oh, that's great. Dude, I looked today at my YouTube channel and more people have subscribed. It's crazy.
That's excellent, my dude.
That's wild, dude.
I gotta start pumping those numbers. Although I am no longer at the legendary #epic 69 subscribers. I got one more yesterday, so.
Damn it.
What are we here?
Now I gotta make the climb to 69 or 6699. Maybe that would be more dope and epic.
That would be. I would. Yeah. I'll support you in this. Let's both root for this number.
Yeah, let's make it our goal.
By the end of the month. No, I'm just...
Yeah, I was gonna say like maybe 420, but I feel like Elon Musk kind of ruined 420 for me.
What did
as
he
a
do?
Meme, so. It was just like it was like this thing he did where he was joking about setting some like stock price at like 420 or something. And it's like it was kind of like when your grandpa starts like doing a meme or like your mom.
Like, all right, Dad. Like,
And you're like, this isn't fun anymore. I don't want to do that.
I'm just gonna get off Facebook. I don't want to be friends with you.
Yeah, it's like I don't need this in my life. Actually, yeah, I'm getting like, because I like looked over to my other monitor and it's like Steven doing like a paint over and then you drawing, and then I look back and like I'm drawing, and it kind of messed with my brain a lot. It's kind of.
So what is going on? What is happening?
Someone say it's too much trying. Yeah.
Blowing my
Or not
mind.
enough. Or not enough.
Some would say. And it was all like the same. I'm also doing like some digital inking right now, and so everything. It was all like the same, similar style. He's doing somebody's like black and white picture right now, and then you're inking and I'm inking.
It's all black and white.
Yeah, it's all coming together, but not in a a way that feels nice in my brain.
You're just like, I don't know what to do.
It's like it hurts. It's too much information.
Dude, you got like a true ADD like setup right now.
Yeah, I'm like one of those like in a sensory overload like Clockwork Orange chair or something.
Yeah.
Just like blasting.
Eyes
The
are
jaws
wide.
are being blasted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can't get away. What were you saying,
Do you
Sam?
want me
Can't
to?
escape.
You want me to stream my murder fucking study as I'm sketching?
Yeah,
it?
you should do that, and then and
Yeah.
then I can have more. And then I can enter the third dimension. Are you actually sketching or 2D? Or are you doing like
2D, yeah. Well, my goal
Okay.
tonight is to basically prep for the sculpt. I just finished a huge detour I took for like three weeks of studying how to do hard surface in ZBrush, which is
Yeah.
like to me is so. Just for a bit of context, are you guys familiar with the concept of hard surface, box modeling, and organic sculpting? Like those terms, do they ring a bell?
They sound familiar to me, but you can go over it. if you
I am
want.
not familiar.
Yeah.
Let me just assume you guys are dumb, even though I
Yeah.
know you're not. So organic sculpting is what we would think of as being like if you were to grab clay and make things that don't have hard edges, that aren't artificial.
Yeah.
So things like, organic forms like roots and bodies and things like that, they lend themselves really well to just like basically taking a blob of clay and then pushing and pulling it into place, right?
Yeah.
ZBrush is made for that. ZBrush is the software for that, with a few competitors coming up behind, nipping at its heels. Box modeling refers to kind of the other extreme of the very technical, almost mathematical, architectural type of modeling that you might see like in Blender, where it's a lot of like moving vertices and shit like that, and edges into place and things like that. And for that, actually, a lot of times people just use a mouse. Like you don't really need pressure for that, right? Because you're just like zhuzhing. It's actually more than zhuzhing, because a lot of time it's like literal mathematical operations, putting it into place. Hard surface is a little bit in between. It's closer to the box modeling side, where you have things like mech suits and weapons and things that can have a lot of like curved forms and things, but are usually by nature artificial and at least have very smooth surfaces. So ZBrush is really only made for organic sculpting. Well, I don't know what it's made for. That's maybe too much of a statement, but that's what it's known for. And so when people want to do box modeling, it would be really wild to do it in ZBrush. You would go to Maya or Blender or something. Hard surface kind of had this interesting like purgatory where I think most people think of it as making more sense in box modeling, and I think that that's true if you already know the concept you're working with. If you're just adapting, if you're turning, like if there's somebody already concepted a vehicle and you just need to turn it into something, right? But I think that a lot of the people I've learned from who do hard surface, if you're concepting or you're kind of building a design from scratch, and you're doing like a mech suit or something like that, or like in my case, Murph, his arm, right, which is a mech arm, it's actually not necessarily easier to do it in box modeling, because box modeling is like kind of too... It's not flexible enough to play with the design. Does that make sense? It's a very technical application of an existing concept, and so there isn't actually a lot out there on how to do hard surface modeling in ZBrush, but there are some tools in it, and I have no regrets. Like, I'm really glad that I studied them. I wouldn't recommend using ZBrush for it for a lot of people, but for me, I'm just so at home in the software that it made more sense to build off that foundation rather than go to a completely new software to figure this out. Yeah. So that's a long overview of those terms.
Yes. No, that makes.
I didn't even explain what I'm doing tonight. So I just finished that. My goal tonight is to 2D sketch. I'm in Procreate right now. To kind of break down and even take notes on what is Murph made of to prepare for the actual 3D sculpt.
Oh, diving
Very
deep.
nice.
I like that.
Sorry, Nate, you were going to say something until I fucking rudely interrupted you.
Oh no, I was just going to comment on what you were saying regarding like sometimes you could put in the work to learn a new thing, but maybe it'll be just as much work to make the thing you're already using work for the thing that it's not supposed to work for. 201. One of the I don't know what the phrase is I'm looking for, but you get what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. I mean, it's like there's a lot of stuff. I mean,
Want to something or other.
something. It's good.
Yeah.
You've got 4 screens going on right now, so no one can really fault you. Easy. So
Yeah.
but I think like you guys will understand like in the context of even like 2D art, for example. I mean, we say 2D like it's one monolith. It's fucking not. But like there's a lot of stuff where people are like, oh, that's not the most efficient, or that's like you can do that better or easier, or some people might say, well, that's not what that software is for, and it's like, well, if it works, it works is I think the final mantra, right? Like that's that's the final thing, and so it depends on what works for people. I mean, you could argue up and down that Photoshop was never made for painting because it's literally a photo processing software. It's in the name. But I don't think so many digital artists would be like, yeah, but who cares? Like, it. I've been painting in it for 20 years, and you might even be right, but I don't have time to figure another piece of software out. I'm just gonna make this work.
Yeah.
And also, it's not for painting. You know, like it's Photoshop is fine for painting.
Yeah. I mean, I've had a lot of, or come across a lot of videos that's like, don't use Photoshop, use Illustrator. It's in the name, genius. Gosh.
Yeah.
And then like I'm using Illustrator, and I'm like, this is the worst application I've ever used in my
I
life.
don't know a single illustrator or concept artist who uses Illustrator. Like I don't think I can name a single one.
Yeah.
So, like, who
I
uses
actually
it for the
have-
bulk of their work?
I use Illustrator for graphic design and logo design. That's
That's
what,
it. That's it.
That's actually what
it's like a
for,
vector program.
Yeah,
It's a
right?
vector
Yeah.
program.
That's it. You can't actually paint.
Yeah.
Unless you can, but they make it way too complicated.
No, you can't. You can't.
Okay.
You could use some kind of like weird cell shading kind of style with it, like, but it wouldn't feel like painting. It wouldn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing.
You want to hate yourself? Use Illustrator.
Yeah.
By the
Like,
way,
you want-
one of the notes I just wrote for Murph is that he's basically a sexy metalhead falcon.
Yes.
He's a buff, sexy metalhead falcon, and that's like 80% of the design.
Yeah. Nailed it. Already. You're on the good path.
Sexy, buff, himbo, falcon, metalhead. Okay, I just wrote that down.
Yeah. Seems legit.
This is gonna be a fun project. This is gonna be. I just want to do something that's not gonna take me like 300 hours. 'Cause I actually, this is not hyperbole. I think my next major religious project will actually take me upwards of 300 hours. It's gonna be
Holy smokes.
so complicated.
Holy shit.
It's a white Mahakala, the Buddha, who is actually the central deity who was assigned. Oh, by the way, oh, you have someone who's a bot who's promoting something in your chat. I thought it was.
Yeah, I don't know how to get
Yeah, but it's the meditation deity who was assigned to me by my Tibetan Buddhist Lama, and the thing about deity yoga is that the designs, the images that you're supposed to meditate on, are purposely super fucking intricate. The term is the mandala. Like it's supposed to be intricate because it's sort of like, as one of my my actually Western teachers said, is like, oh, if you want to achieve enlightenment, we have a lot of tech, including for people who have ADHD and like are easily distracted. Here's like a very intricate deity to focus on, and so you just like you have no excuse. And I don't have ADHD, but like I think this project's gonna be really the first time that I meld my art and my spirituality together, because I'm literally started up my meditation practice to begin to re-visualize him. And the point of deity yoga is like you actually literally, so in the most advanced form, you actually visualize yourself as the deity. But in the more like the preliminary practice, it's called generating in front, where you generate the image of them in front of you as if they're like about 10 feet away from you. You're supposed to visualize them in such clarity that like you should feel like they're literally in front of you. So it's kind of for me a test and visualization to see if I can make that happen. But anyway, it's a very intricate design, and I foresee it taking long. So I don't want that to be my next project, and that's why I want to do Murph first.
Yeah. It's a good intermediate.
Yeah. Like this will still be a
Take big
challenge.
plunge.
Yeah, this will still be a challenge, but I don't think it's gonna take me that long. It should not take me that long. I think it'd be a waste of time if I did. I think people would just think it's cool that I did a Murph sculpture.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be amazing.
It's gonna be cooler than Aslog because Aslog is actually that design is when I did it I was like, oh, it's really cool, but it's actually very simple, you know.
Yeah.
The whole thing about that design by Daniel is that like he's big and epic, but he's basically Tree Zaddy, to quote Angelo. Who commented
Yes.
on it. He's basically Tree Zaddy. Whereas Murph is just funky, man. He's just got like his arm is insane. It's so cool.
Oh yeah. I love it. He's just like a big meathead, you know. It's like he's always smiling with his bandana on. And, that's great.
Every day I realize, every day I come to the true nature of me being a furry. Like I just like, it's just.
Is
it's
this
taking me
awakening
so long.
something?
I mean, it started with Robin Hood, the sexy fox,
Oh, yeah.
and it has culminated in Murder Falcon. So
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Well, there's a reason they call it animal magnetism. I mean,
yeah,
come on.
that is the legal reason why. Yeah, that's
That is legally, yeah, legally why.
Quite literally.
it. It's a good in the sense as you guys are, but like I just realized in sketching this that I'm taking notes through sketching. Does that make sense? Like I'm visualizing through drawing, and I kind of forgot that I have that under my tool set. Because I'm so used to trying to draw to be impressive, that yeah. Here, I'm gonna share it with you guys, but it's not a great drawing, but it's just like this is how I'm taking notes. I don't know how to share this.
I don't know how to share this.
I don't know how to share this with my friends. Mouth Breathers Guild. Who knows? Maybe I just never share it ever again.
Or you do, because art doesn't expire. Yeah.
Honestly, sounds gay. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Well, you know, who knows?
I wish.
Sometimes I think it would be cool to paint with food stuffs, and then I think about how messy that would be, and the fact that it actually would literally expire.
Yeah.
And how that would have to be, in order for it to be worthwhile, that would have to be the point, kind of.
Yeah.
But mostly, I just want to pretend I'm a child again and mess around with ketchup or something. Like,
I just want to paint with food, man.
yeah. Ketchup, I don't know if he knows, but ketchup is way less expensive than oil paint.
Dude, what? Get out of here. No way.
Yeah. Ooh. Hell yeah, brother.
Yeah, the point is the sketch I posted, it's not good. It's just that like I'm like, oh right, I forgot I know how to use drawing to figure things
Well,
out.
I don't know what your thought behind it is, but like it has a vibe, and if the vibe is what you're trying to capture, you've accomplished that, and that will be useful.
And mostly this is off of a panel, but I am trying to get I'm trying to get the big sweeping shapes, because that's what my jam is, right? That's what I have to offer the world. And I'll figure out the minute details, but yeah, I'm starting to get the hang of. I mean, like I think I was talking to somebody about this today. It's like, yeah, some of the stuff is just it's not meant to be anything. It just looks cool. Like some of these random pipes and shit, these look cool. What have you guys been up to? Hustling?
Yeah. Just stressing out and stuff. That's really it.
Stressing out, yeah. I had to take my dog to the vet today.
Oh
no!
'Cause he's one of his legs is he's kind of like limping on it, and we were like, and like then we scheduled the appointment, and then he started getting better today, and we're kind of like, oh geez, they might want to do an X-ray, and the X-ray was going to be like $500.
Exactly.
So
yeah.
they're going to have to like put him under. And so, but then they did the exam, and they're like, well, like he doesn't actually seem to be in pain or anything. So we're just going to give him some meds, and then we'll wait and see a couple weeks, and then hopefully it won't be a thing. But so he's fine. But
Okay.
yeah, dogs are expensive.
That's true.
But especially with him, it's like we want to be really careful about mobility issues because he only has 3 legs to begin with. So it's kind of
that's right.
important to keep an eye on that stuff.
You know how I'm 5'7", but I have a 6'5" personality. Jack has 6-legged personality.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I forget he's a tripod dog. Yeah.
He's got spirit.
Oh well, we got a new dog. I think I mentioned to you, Nate.
Mm-hmm.
Buddy.
How is new dog?
I actually the first night the sense of responsibility really hit me, and I already knew that I intellectually accept the responsibility, right? Also, I'm sharing the responsibility with my sister, but I actually specifically said assume that I am his primary caretaker, and I've never had a dog, and so even though I'm kind of sharing it a little bit, the day that his now former mom passed him over, and she was very clear. She was crying, I mean, of course she's had him for 6 years, she loves him, but she really thinks this is the right call, and she's made it very clear. She's like, it's easier for all of us if we see this as a formal transfer, right? She's like, if I can come to visit, it's great, but I think everything, the microchip information, everything needs to go over. I was like, yeah, 100%. So all the practical stuff, that's not what freaked me out. It's the fact that Buddy loves me. He loves several of us, but he specifically loves me, which is part of why we made the decision for him to essentially quote be my dog. And I kept looking at him, and he would beeline to me whenever he saw me come up into the main section of the house.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I'm ready to receive your love, bro. It's a lot. It's a lot. I already have it with the cats. But today it was great, and he started to feel more comfortable coming into my the bedroom, which is where the cats are. The cat, oh my god, Oliver is obsessed with him. I've never seen Oliver be interested in a dog this way. He followed Buddy around. Buddy is a corgi terrier mix of some sort, and he kind of has cat vibes. Even his ears are kind of pointy, and I was like, maybe Oliver sees him as another cat. I don't know.
It's like, this is a weird looking cat, man.
Exactly, for sure.
Cat smells funny, yeah.
So no, it's been really cool, and he's a really cool addition, and yeah, it's part of it was the charity of it all, of giving him a home so he wouldn't have to go back to a shelter.
Yeah.
But we also if ever there were a house that would do a good job with this, it'd be us, because my sister is a former pet sitter, she still does it part-time. That's why because we pet sit him, and we know things, we have vets on call, kind of, that we can, if there's an emergency, we know where to go. So yeah, he's gonna have a really good time here, especially with the dogs and cats.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. Changing subject a little bit, I am very excited and nervous about sculpting the Chuck Taylors that Murph wears.
Oh yeah.
Talk about aesthetic.
Oh yeah. Dan knew exactly what he was doing.
It's such an aesthetic. It's insane. God, he's so hot. Oh. Oh, my cat's yelling. What's wrong?
The other cat's pooping in the living room.
Yeah, wait. Where's that? BRB, I gotta go. I just heard my cat from a distance.
Yeah, you gotta go check those cats. You never know.
Yeah.
You know what they're getting up to. What are you working on right now, man? You should probably it's your channel, it's your stream. They're trying to address something that's happening here.
I am inking.
I think I recognize this project, but this is new to me. This page.
Oh yeah. So this is part of the that dark fantasy sci-fi book I've been working on for a bit. I'm pretty sure I was working on this a little bit or at least had some pages done in Steven's class when we met a few years ago. But so this is just me trying to finish up this project. So I got like, I think at this point I have 43 or 44 pages inked up now. And I think I got about like 8 or 10 more pages planned out, or more actually. So it'll be like around a 60-page book once it's done. I'm hoping to finish it before the summer, so I could get it printed. I'm thinking about doing like Amazon print on demand kind of thing.
Let's go.
Oh yeah.
So we'll see how that works out. But yeah, so yeah, I just want to get another book out before summer hits, along with like the anthology that we're putting together and stuff and all that. So this is just another page for the Dark Fantasy book, man.
Very nice.
Yeah. Kind of didn't know where I wanted to go with it, and I was like kind of stuck. I was like, how is this dude gonna get out of being tangled up in the tentacles again for like the 3rd or 5th time, whatever? And I was like, okay, something has to like distract this monster, and why not use a bigger monster to distract her with?
Fair enough.
That just comes crashing through. I don't know if you saw this page the other day. Hold on. There we go. This is a previous page. There might be a slight delay on Twitch, but
Yeah. No worries. I will.
We know how the internet works. We know how it works.
I have not seen this page, so yeah, that looks sick. Strong kaboom punch energy. Yeah, nice lettering too on that.
Thanks, man.
Wait, I didn't see the lettering. Sorry, can you go back?
Yeah.
On the kaboom.
Oh, let's go. Fuck, that's so good.
That's tasty.
It reminds me of the conversation we had about Daniel's Dan stuff in Murder Falcon. Oh, BT Dubs, I'm so sorry that I've missed the last few weeks. I've just like really pulled back. I haven't been on Discord at all. What comics have you guys been talking about the last few weeks?
We did. Were you there when we talked about Ultra Mega?
Yeah, that was great.
Okay.
And that prompted me to read the whole thing.
So we did that. So you were there for that, and then yesterday we did Pulp, Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips's book Pulp. I have the Process edition. So there's like thumbnails and stuff that we were looking through and everything, but it's a really short book. It's 67 pages of a full story. And
I do have to be honest, I really like that you guys have been choosing things that are like, for better or worse, a closed universe. It's like we would love more Murder Falcon, we would love more Ultra Mega, but for whatever reason, that's all we've got right now.
yeah. But I think we might do another Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips book the next stream. Another short one.
I do want to. I think I mentioned that I do have God Country, which Ben had recommended. And I love God Country and I have a lot of thoughts about it. It's also it's anything with like a parent having dementia is like really hits home for me these days, and that's another story with that theme. Also, Jalen's here, Noah's here.
What's up, dudes? Hello.
Yeah.
Welcome.
And it says Godzilla vs. Seagull and Seagull's plump graphic novel. Oh, sorry. And then someone, Greg, I don't know this person, Greg.
Oh my gosh.
Music.
Interesting.
And then
hey Greg.
Here. Yeah.
More like Manny draws some awesome drawings. I totally missed that message. Thank you, my friend. Much appreciated. You guys should do Black Sad at one point. Yeah, definitely.
I've heard great things about Black Sad. Have you read it before?
I haven't read it, but I've looked through just like the book itself, and I mean it's amazing. I'm pretty sure the artist worked at Disney was a concept artist or a storyboard artist for Disney.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a gorgeous book. It's all like watercolor, I'm pretty sure too, like watercolor, gouache,
Let's
and ink.
go. I
And-
fucking love
Yeah.
watercolor
Like,
comics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's so
Crazy
cool.
style. Yeah.
And it's like a noir book,
Yeah.
but it's cats basically. Like Black
Yeah.
Sad is a panther or a
Dude,
cat.
You guys buried the fucking
Yeah.
lead. You guys buried the lead on this. Come on, man. That's all.
What? Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. This is not gonna help your
Yeah.
developing furry inclinations. Sam is.
Something is happening to Sam. No.
Black Sad. Is that the name of the character?
I'm pretty
The
sure.
main character.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Black Sad is gonna do things for you, Sam. He's very
Very manly.
very classic.
Very
noir,
macho.
Really?
manly.
I just want to say I am simultaneously
Steven's doing my thing.
offended.
I'm gonna mute here.
Okay.
Okay, just to explain to others what just happened right now. So Steven Zapata simultaneously is doing I think a long stream tonight where he's going through
yeah.
Nightshade, the new AI anti-AI software.
Yes.
And Nate had submitted his for ingestion basically or for application and we weren't sure if Steven was going to do it, but apparently he is. Going back to Black Sad, I am simply a fan feel because correct. He's so hot. And
so
he's noir hot, which I used to not be into, and then like I watched things like fucking Hellboy and so on and so forth.
Oh yeah.
And so that really does it for me.
Yeah, that'll do
But
it.
like if Jessica Jones were a bro, which she
Dude.
kind of is.
I mean, yeah, she kind of is. Yeah, I would definitely get a beer with Jessica Jones.
Yeah, 100%.
We'd be like, hey, what's up?
Is there a Black Sad video game?
Maybe.
It's on Steam. I'm pretty sure. It looks like it, yeah. That's cool. I wonder who does it.
Is it
Made
like
this.
Telltale? I feel like that would be a Telltale game, but
One of the ones that we did not get, I think. We only got the Walking Dead ones. Developer is Pendulo Studios. The publisher is Microids, who is a pretty good publisher. Ooh. Oh, this developer has some other really cool games. One that's like a bunch of mechs called UFO Robot. Cool. Yeah. Okay. Fine. I'll read it. Fine.
fine. I don't think any of the other guys have a Black Sad book, but yeah, we'll I'll definitely advocate to put that under the microscope in the near future.
Yay. And then I think Extremity was also on the list.
Oh yeah. I think that's just like we know everyone has it in the group, so that'll be easy.
I actually don't buy the meaning to get it, so this will just be the excuse.
Oh, okay.
And I'm pretty sure we have it at the office, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, if they turn that into a video game, I think I'd shit my pants. That'd be so cool.
Yeah. Well, one of the cool things about Skybound, us getting our own game studio now, who, by the way, like, those guys, it's so cool. It's so cool because, like, a bunch of the studio are basically my bros now because they all know I'm an artist as well. And it's cool to, like, have my people working there. I'm also, like, I'm pretty close with the Invincible animation team as well. There's specifically one artist who's the environmental artist who's really good. Yeah, who's like, he actually gave me a lot of tips on 3D stuff when I was getting more into it. But yeah, having, but that's also not my team because I'm not the film and TV lawyer. So now that I'm the lawyer for the game studio, that's like really, really cool for me. But I wasn't going to say, but if we ever decide to do an Extremity video game, we could probably do it in-house rather than having to get an outside developer do it.
Dude. Let me know when they're hiring.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I need to look for, because you, I think, come in as a 2D concept artist, right, which you'd be qualified for. So we do have one right now, but he's focused on environments. I think in the right now, because we don't really need character designers because the characters, it's Invincible,
they're
already done. But yeah, if we ever had to do it for some IP where that wasn't built out yet, yeah, for sure, I'm gonna tap into my network and you will be the first to hear about it.
Dude, that would be so cool.
And for what it's worth, like we all work remote, so like
Oh.
like they may still ask you to come for like team like visits, but you know, and then they would pay for it. And that's, like,
I would hop on that immediately. I'd be like, I love you.
The more I hear about these layoffs and stuff that are happening in the world, like the more grateful I am that I work at my company.
Yeah.
Because it's because we live in a world where that's like in late stage capitalism, where essentially the way it's set up is it's a series of feudal systems, right? Where we all have our our CEOs are our feudal lords,
Yeah.
and it is what it is, like I don't know how to solve that problem on my own, but if I'm going to have a feudal lord, I'm glad I have the ones I do. They are fellow nerds. They're very creator, thoughtful, and just good people, and I can't say that for every place I've worked at.
Yeah,
I know you can't. I know you can't.
Yeah, literally about to be like, I understand.
So now that I'm like, I kind of fucked up because now I'm just working on this sketch rather than analyzing it. I'm just having fun drawing. It's been a while since I drew, so I'm just like having fun drawing right now. But there's so many elements of this design. Oh, sorry, to explain to chat. I am getting ready to do a digital sculpture of Murph from Murder Falcon, and so I'm just spending tonight. My goal is to draw and like take notes and kind of break him down so I understand the basic forms. But there's so many elements of his design that are so cool. Like there's things that I love. For one, he has that arm wrap. I love arm wraps. You've seen them in several of the things I've done.
Same.
And then also the whole thing where you have the kind of like the tight shin guards, or in his case he has high tops, and then like the baggy pants tucked into it is like my favorite thing in the universe.
Dude, it's so fun, man. Like he just looks like a little action figure that you just want to play with.
God.
He's
I'm literally crying to be sculpted, like, and so I'm doing us all a favor. I'm doing us all a favor by making this happen. Jalen says, what about an ethics supervisor that makes sure your usage of Seagull's likeness is on point in all the games that you're, of course, going to use? I could see that.
I can see that. Yes. The seagull. What a guy. That's Steven. What a guy.
I'm so curious to see what his contracts look like.
Steven Seagal?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're probably batshit crazy, honestly.
Probably. I mean,
like, without naming names, like, you know that, like, for several of our IPs, we do work with some pretty big name celebrities, and those negotiations are they're really cool, actually, because the people we work with are, like, they're pretty big deals, and so they ask for things that are important to them, and I respect that. I really do. But I'm not gonna. Like, I'm just making an example. This is not actually something that's like in a contract, but like there's some celebrities who are like, and you will like, there will always be orange juice on set. When I go record, is that kind of specificity?
That's so strange. Yeah.
Yeah. You can get away with it if you're that big a deal. If you're the pretty girl at the prom.
There better be orange juice.
I'm talking about Steven Yeun, of course. God, he's so hot. Speaking of hot, can you imagine if Steven Yeun? Oh my God, what if he played Murder Falcon in a live action or animated series of Murder Falcon? I just have a crush on Steven Yeun, and I want him to voice everything because he's actually such a good voice actor. The next Invincible, the rest of the season is gonna start streaming in middle of March, I think. I just found out about that.
Oh, nice. I was wondering when that was gonna happen.
Like, I know some people are complaining. There's like, you guys only had 4 episodes and then you cut it off. I was like, look, you can't rush art. I mean, like, it's so good. Just let it happen. Also, we had the strike, So
yeah, that's true. I didn't think about that.
That stalled a lot. Yeah, all of those people just came back to work, and we were trying to do right by everything, and well, we had to, but like we wanted to as well. It would be really dumb to work at a company that honors creatives if you didn't honor the strike.
Right.
I think.
Yeah. That's crazy. Because the animation guild was part of the strike too, right? Like.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're part of IATSE.
Okay.
And yeah, they're like a guild within. Actually, I do want. Sorry, I should be more precise. So they are, most of them are classed as performers, but obviously, if you're in the guild and you're just like, I don't know, not just, but if you're doing like storyboarding, you probably did not apply. It applied to writers and to performers of some sort.
Okay.
Also, I think we just get a Nate back. Nate, how was it?
Yes. It's kind of nuts how Steven can like take like any style of work and like in a few like strokes just like make it like 20% better, like
Yeah.
without even like thinking about it. Like
Steven?
Yeah, Steven. Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean
fuck
he's the man. So
Fuck him.
I'm really glad I was gonna show him that piece at some point and try and get some. It's the I submitted the demon tutor teacher piece.
Yeah.
So yeah, he just gave me some really good pointers about trying to like unify the value structure of it and everything, and functionally how to do that with some gradients and stuff. So yeah, it was nice. It was good.
Dude, heck yeah, man. Look at you, always getting critiqued by the pros, like you and Sam.
Wait, when did that happen?
Not always.
Yeah, well, I mean, when you guys did the Marshall Vandriff thing, and
Oh
y'all were
yes,
chosen.
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing that we both like basically like totally lost interest in once that had happened.
Yeah, after our stuff was chosen, we're like, okay, that's good enough.
Yeah.
Well, it did feel because like I think, and this is an issue like with it's not Marshall's fault. It's not anyone's fault unless they lean into it in a problematic way. But like there's definitely that culture of like hero worship in the art community.
Oh yeah.
That's a huge reason. That's a huge reason that Nate and I left. It was just like.
Yeah, because it's like Marshall is here to try and like teach these concepts, and I feel like it's like I didn't feel like I was there with like pure intentions of like learning at that point. Like I was just like, I'm just trying to like impress Marshall, and that's not really worthy effort for either of our time. So
and then for those who don't know, this is a workshop to go over Bridgman, which is like pretty cool, and both Nate and I are designers and character artists, so and I love Bridgman, we both do, but
we do a lot of human stuff, so yes,
yeah,
it makes sense.
But there was like, just at the time, I think I speak for both of us, Nate, when I say like it wasn't slotting into anything specific I was working on. I was just kind of excited to impress Marshall, basically.
I had Bridgman stuff for so long that I had already like, not that I had already learned everything I could have learned from it. In fact, my study probably wasn't particularly efficient, in regards to it. But it was like, I've already seen this stuff quite a bit. It's like, is this really what I need to be, taking a lot of my time to process? And no, it was not.
No, it's not.
This is also back when I thought I was a 2D artist, which, as you guys know, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Well,
I will say, so getting selected for that exhibition did kind of, I was like, oh shit, like, I'm not saying I could make money, because I mean, I'm not going to really make money on this, but I was like, fuck, do I need to like be more of a 2D artist than I am? Well, also, I should say, like, I think I underestimate how well my sculptures would do, because when I sculpt with a primary angle in mind, like my Kuan Yin piece, right? It's cool because it was a sculpture, but I think I underrate the value of that being a print. Like, I think people would want that on their wall,
Oh yeah.
I should just sell it as a print. And like if you wanted Kuan Yin, it's a pretty cool depiction of it. What I might do actually is return to it and paint her, actually, to add
Yeah,
color.
I was gonna ask because that seems like it would be in your toolbox, but also like a worthwhile just thing to do with that piece of art. Like I
Yeah,
think,
several people asked me if I wanted to paint, and I was like, yeah, eventually, but I just like, it was really arduous to finish just the sculpt, right? So I was like, just
yeah,
done, and then I'll just return to it later. And what's great about 3D is, well, on 2D as well, and digital, is you can always return to it later. I mean, actually, you can do it
well,
traditional too. If you did an oil painting and you did it in grayscale, you could always go back to it.
Yeah.
hmm yeah. Well, I was gonna say, Sam, you like, I mean, for most fine artists, like for most sculptors through history, they were always working with an angle and like a viewing angle in mind. Um,
Yeah.
it's like only really in the advent of like video games and movies and stuff that requires 3D models that fully like 360-degree like sculpting was really considered because everything else would have had like uh, you know some kind of pedestal that it has to sit on, or it'd be leaning up against a wall, or it'd be up on top of a building, or it'd be like
Exactly. Yeah, I
somewhere
mean,
where you can't see some
even
part of it. Yeah.
even in a contemporary context, like mini figurines, a lot of them do have like a narrow like 20-degree angle like range where it's really meant to be seen. And some of them are on I
Yeah.
forget what the kind of like a basically a wall that against there's a lot of minis like that. Some of the Warhammer stuff is like that, and you can actually like buy the pieces to kind of stand it up against. And my buddy who does minis, he's actually the first person who told me that. He's like, yeah, there's nothing wrong with it. But also in 2D, there's a lot of truth to what you said, because if you're vying to be a character concept artist at a studio, you need to do turnarounds, right? But if you're just doing a fine art thing or your own personal project, I mean, you don't have to just pick the angle you want.
Yeah.
And so because I finally accepted that I'm more of a fine artist than anything like that, I think that yeah, I can have these constrained parameters. But when I did 3D, I guess I kind of maybe thought that I was quite literally expanding the angles you can see things from. But I mean, I still really, really delight in the challenge of making my sculpts look good from multiple angles. But it's clear from all the sculptures I've done, like anyone can tell what the main angle is. Like it's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe I should sell some of my 3D stuff as prints. But I do still want to do more 2D. Like I still painting really has something different to offer. Like you guys remember the painting I did late last year of our dog who passed away, Mitchell?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the one. I mean, that is like for my family and friends is like probably one of the most important things I've done. We actually at my sister's request, I'm going quiet because it's a surprise for my sister-in-law, but I'm getting us all hoodies of that painting
Oh.
on it. Yeah.
Oh.
I got it through Canva. I'll let you guys know what the quality is because I was doing some research. I was like, oh, Canva does print-on-demand hoodies, and they looked like decent quality. So it was $31 per, and then like
Okay.
that doesn't include shipping. So I'll let you guys know what the quality is. It looks pretty good. But it's between that and like that commission that I did for my friend that I posted about. Like I realized that there are certain art forms that for me my main goal is to get certain ideas down, like visual ideas down, but for a lot of people it's not the virtuosity they care about, but the fact of like seeing something depicted at all in some cases, or depicted in a particularly romantic or poignant way, right? And I'm good at that. Like I think I need to honor that part of me more. It's like I'm a pretty sentimental person and I'm a very sentimental artist, and I keep fighting that. I keep trying to like go for virtuosity when that's actually not even what people want of me. They want me to be sappy. That's why people go to Sam Lam, is to like feel emotion.
Yes. I want the sap.
Yeah. Can't
Take
spell
5
sap
gallons of
without
sap,
Sam
please.
Lam. Yeah.
Give me your sap.
Give me
Can't
a
spell sap
requires
without
sap.
Sam Lam. Yeah.
Huh. I know there's a artist that it's a 3D artist, or they are a 3D artist. and they did a poster design for John Wick, one of the movies, and it's just like a whole bunch of skulls and stuff, and they do like these really intricate 3D models or sculpts and stuff, and then they just light it like crazy. You know what I'm talking about, like doing like crazy lighting like that with that sculpt.
Yeah,
dude, that'd be wild. You wouldn't even have to paint it.
Yeah.
You just light it up like that. Maybe it wouldn't. I don't know, but
yeah. I actually, I'm pretty sure I know. I'm pretty sure I know which artist you're talking about. I'm gonna do some research on it, but yeah, like I keep feeling pressure to do things in color. I'm actually pretty good at color. Like I think I have a pretty good handle on color, but there's something about grayscale that is just fucking sick to me, especially when you light things up that way.
oh yeah.
Which I'm like, I've actually been told by some people who are like professionals. They're like, man, you should like teach me about rendering. I was like, well, I think that something we need to remember is I did photography for like 3 or 4 years when I was in college. Like that was my main hobby actually on the side of going to class. And so a lot of that taught me about lighting and composition. So I brought that with me into art. But yeah, that by itself, I think I feel a pressure to do color because that's what you would do for a portfolio. And I feel pressure to do 360 degrees because once again, that's what you would need for a portfolio. But going back to Nate's point, neither of those are constraints for me, and I can kind of pick what I want to show off. And there's something to be said for like, I do like that my stuff looks sculptural, but there's a reason why I don't always do an actual turnaround video, because I actually like to pick the angles that I show the images at. Kind of like I'm like a, I don't know, Vogue photographer or something, like for a fashion magazine. Is like you pick the purpose actually is the still image, but you choose enough angles to show the versatility of the subject matter, right? But it's not, the goal isn't actually the 360 degree turnaround animation. That's not actually the point of it. And so some stuff I like, and like my Kuan Yin piece, I was really proud of that as a sculpture, and I liked the 360 degrees. But like for Murph, I actually am not actually sure that I want to do it. I want to do it as 360 degrees. My primary goal is to mimic the one cover of him holding up the Japanese flag. Do you remember, Manny?
Yeah. Oh, do I remember? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's my main one, and as long as I can get that down, I kind of don't care what the back looks like. Yeah. So for this, I might only do like 3 angles, maybe like a front one and then 2 3/4 on either side, and that's it. I don't know that anyone cares about the back angle for that. Anyway, I'm rambling. The point is, it's my art. I can do whatever the fuck I want, and no constraints.
No, you must do the back.
Yes.
No, I'm just...
You have to, or else how cringe, right?
How cringe.
How embarrassing. How embarrassing that I didn't do a turnaround.
Yeah, what he said.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as you do the sculpts, it's gonna be crazy.
And I think I actually am curious about your guys' thoughts on that, because like I know that I've already built up this, like, I don't want to say reputation's too strong of a word, but I've built up this image of being a sculptor, and I feel it too. Like I feel I see myself as a sculptor, more than I see myself as a draftsperson, and I'm not that bad at drawing, but I don't see myself as a draftsperson as much as I do as a sculptor. But I guess I'm just curious, like, your guys' perception, having been my friend for so long, like, because Ben was pretty stoked about me sculpting Aslog, and it was just like the way he framed it was like, I would love nothing more than for Sam Lamb to sculpt it. I was like, fuck, but then like also my friend literally paid for a commission for me to do sculpt, so like I think people see me as a technician, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how that lands for you guys. Like, if that is like, when I sculpt something, does it feel like, oh damn, like, it's not just that Sam can bring this to life, but that there's a specific Sam interpretation of it that we're excited to see? I don't know.
I think for me, it's like, because I don't spend nearly as much time like looking at sculpture work, like looking at like 3D work that is like designed kind of from the ground up to be that. if you know what I mean. Like I don't spend a lot of time like looking at 3D models. Like so, it's almost like I've never new pairs. So I just think of it's like, yep, there's my artist friend Sam. He's making sculptures. Like I guess if somebody asked me, I was like, yeah, Sam is like a 3D artist. He's a sculptor. He does other stuff, but sometimes he says he doesn't do that stuff. But I don't know. It's like it's kind of one of those things. It's like because we've known you for a while now. For me, it just sort of like happened naturally. I don't know.
Yeah.
And that's kind of cool. Yeah. It sort of just like emerged out of you.
That makes a lot of sense, and man, I'd love to hear your thoughts too. I'm just like curious about this, but to go to your point, Nate, is I really appreciate that, and because it resonates with my experience as the maker, which is that like it doesn't work for me if I do a sculpt if I don't design it from the ground up. I'm not saying that there's a lot of base meshes I use, so I don't mind shortcuts here and there, but it has to read as a coherent 3D design, right? You can tell when there are some people who do 3D stuff and it's a mere adaptation of some existing concept. But for me, like Aslog, for example, that was a really simple one. I spent maybe like 10 hours on that. But like it reads like it's a sculpture in its own right? Like you don't even need to know the comic to be like, that looks cool.
Yeah.
In its own way.
Yeah.
And I so that means a lot to me is that I care more about the internal coherence of the piece than I do about, I don't know, some notion of merely rote adapting something that exists already.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy
and he's like,
to see my friend doing art.
Yeah.
As soon as I saw you like post the first sculpt, I was like, "Holy shit, he's a sculptor too!" It's like this dude can do anything.
Yeah, and Sam, I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
It's too late.
I guess I should say, yeah. Okay. Well, now that I said that, it primed you to take it. But what I really mean is like when you asked if like the sculpts, or maybe you said something like, do they feel like uniquely Sam, or like I don't know if that's how you phrased it, but like to me it was like because I've seen your art journey for the past couple of years and like seeing where you started to like what you're doing now, it's like, I mean, one, there's like the medium change, so it's like different than the stuff you were doing before just on that basis alone, and that means it's going to look quite a bit different. And then just like juxtaposing like the first Archangel piece you did, I'm trying to remember the name of that Archangel.
Oh, Sandalphon, which is not your
Sandalphon. Yeah, Sandalphon is like orders of magnitude different from what you're doing for a number of reasons. Like just like the overall, obviously, like we've all improved a lot, so just the overall quality of your work now is much higher. But then, like I don't know, just like a lot of the design decisions and the just like the way you handle your newer 3D stuff just feels so different. Yeah. So it's almost like I guess I wouldn't even know. Like I wouldn't know if I'd look back at what you did before and call it Sam. I look at what you're doing now, and it's so different from that. Like I guess it's just you constantly evolving, which is cool. It's very cool to like you don't get to see that with most artists that you come into contact with. You don't get to experience that journey like with them.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I see it in all of our stuff. Is like it is an interesting thing to meditate on. Is like, was that Sam, or is this more Sam? And it's like, well, it all was, right? And it's like the notion we kind of like are extrapolating from what has happened, what we think to be the case, like, and none of this is a monolith, right? I'm constantly exploring and evolving as well. But I will say that I think it's inevitable for an artist as they evolve that if they are doing any growth at all, there will be something, I don't know what the adjective is here, but something freer about their later work. I think like that's pretty inevitable. There's a kind of like an ambling to find yourself in the early stages of anything. But having said that, like, I recently found some old journals of mine, and I went back and I started journaling again, and I was like, oh, I just kind of want to get inspired by it. And I was like, yeah, my writing is better now, just like because 20 years have passed. But I still see me in the 23-year-old version of who was writing, So it is a weird thing to meditate on. Like was I still myself then? I was like, I was 100% myself, and it's kind of anachronistic to judge the 23-year-old version of me by the 41-year-old version of me. But it is also true that like I have evolved, and I like to think I've become a more refined, like fine wine version of myself as I've grown.
Dude, your taste, I mean, holy smokes. You know what I'm saying? You've gotten stronger.
Yeah. Let's not downplay like the importance of taste, because like that's a big thing that I've always envied in you two, and that I finally found with myself is like, oh right, one of the whole reasons I got into drawing and painting and sculpting and stuff is because I like looking at this shit.
Yeah.
And so but you guys have heard me talk about this before, but I'm kind of tired of like art that is just impressive. I just don't really care about that as much anymore. Like, oh, the art is very virtuosic. It's like, okay, whatever. Like, what's crazy is that stuff is like now a dime a dozen to be a virtuoso.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Virtuosic artist.
A lot of really, really good artists
who they can draw things from imagination, and they have a strong visual library, and they know their fundamentals really well, and yada yada yada. And it's like, okay, fine, whatever.
But I don't know. It's like you don't even need to be that, man. You don't even need to be that to be a successful artist. Or I mean, success is defined differently throughout everyone. But you know what I mean, like. I don't know. There's like Charles Schultz and stuff. There's the great cartoonists from newspaper times and stuff. They didn't do like crazy realistic stuff. They just drew their characters, and they made it. Like that was their thing. And then of course there's like the Rembrandts. There's the Frank Frazettas. There's John Romita Jr., John Romita Sr. and stuff. And those guys, different skill levels. Jack Kirby, different skill level than all those dudes. And even Steven Zapata. It's fantastic. Different skill level. It's this guy.
Zapena?
Yeah, Zapena. Yeah.
Storvin. Oh, I've heard of this guy.
I think you've heard of him. Yeah. But you know what I mean, like.
Guys, I'm gonna be right back. My wife just texted me. She's like, "Are you guys still steaming?" Screaming.
Hi, Maddie.
But it is getting pretty hot in here. Anyway, I'll be right back. I gotta take my dog up.
Okay, gotcha. But I don't know. Was that making sense? What I was saying?
Of course, yeah. Okay. And I want to be clear. Like, we can celebrate virtuosity. We can celebrate people having become excellent. It's just like, but it's weird that like for a lot of artists of our era and of our milieu, like online artists of this time, that we see that as necessary for making art. It's so it's like let's take weightlifting as an example. Is like Ronnie Coleman, Chris Bumstead, like these guys who are like at the top of their game.
Yeah.
Is like it's still cool to be like, damn, those guys are huge and they're so strong, and it's like great. But then to extrapolate from that, I have to be that good before I can even do fitness is like actually insanely backwards, right?
Yeah.
And also totally foolish, because part of why Kim Jong-gi and like Peter Han, these guys also have, again, I don't really believe in talent, but they've got something going on, right? That's like some kind of genetic advantage, right?
Right.
But also they have a lot of fucking experience. Like that's the other thing too. But my point is like, and here's the thing is like those guys like Peter, for example, Peter is a pretty cool guy, and he would be the last person to be like, you have to draw like this to be able to draw at all. Like he would not say that.
Yeah. Which is good,
Yeah.
Because I originally got that vibe from him because he's just so intense. Right,
he's really intense, yeah.
But like we're watching him at like Lightbox and stuff, and he's like, it's like he's a chill guy. He's just intense at the same time. He's just obsessed with drawing. He's a freak of nature. To be able to draw.
Are we talking about Peter Han?
Peter Han,
Yeah. I think he strikes me as the kind of guy who would be that intense about like anything that he
So true.
undertook. Like not just a personality thing, and not really like a gatekeepy thing.
Yeah. That's what I'm getting. Like, he seems like a good guy. Is basically that's what I'm saying.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff. I mean, actually, let's not forget. I was gonna bring this up earlier, but I lost my train of thought. To lay people, all three of us are like advanced, right? Like the way that we make art is at a very high level. And I mean this both in the sense that we are in a niche, we're in a bubble, and like we're in like the 2% of people in the world who can draw and sculpt and paint and so on, right? So there's that, but there's also the related thing of like cognitively they don't even know how to assess our art. Does that make sense? Like they assess it based on like, oh, that looks cool, or sometimes like, oh, that's impressive. And so a lot of times I feel like a lot of the stuff I make that's really quote unquote impressive is only impressive to other artists. There's this concept of like, is it music for musicians? Is it an animated film that's for animators? Like there's some stuff that is like so like
it's like art
Spider-Verse,
house films. Those are for filmmakers.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
Spider-Verse is like somewhere in the middle, where I think especially the second one, what really to me felt like it still did really well mainstream. Like a lot of people I know loved it, but like I think it was very much a movie for artists, right? I remember crying during parts of it in like an art way, and like the part where
the beginning for me with the drum solo, I was like, I am already in love with this movie.
I was like just chills, and so the chills were from the pure experience of loving Spider-Man as a character and loving the whole IP, but it was also I could see the artist in me being like feeling seen. The scene that really got to me was the scene where Gwen in her universe confronts her dad, and like the scenery starts to like the watercolor starts to bleed. And I was like, this is insane. This is like what the Van Gogh experience hopes it were. Like,
dude,
like,
for real. For real, man.
So I bring this up because like I love I do like making art for artists. Like I like making art for our people so that we can kind of like celebrate the craft. But there are times where I'm like, if I'm making art for a commission, that's all out the window. I just gotta realize the vision, the client's vision, right?
Yeah.
And tell the story. And so I think it's important to have these conversations with oneself so that we don't get too like when we get our values and our objectives all mixed up, we immediately start in the losses, to use that term. Like we start from deficiency, because like you can never satisfy all of those objectives. So being clear on the objectives is a way of just basically not fucking going crazy, to be honest.
Be clear with your intentions.
If you guys have learned anything today, it's be clear with your intention.
Communication through the visuals.
I'm just, man, as you're saying that, I'm just picturing like a very 90s like video, like a corporate welcome video for the employees, where it's just like, be clear.
As it's got like the really terrible graphic design going across the screen.
Spinning like block shiny letters.
Communicate, teamwork, friendship, and you're like, wait, what? What's
friendship? What are we watching right now? Remember to ask Mom for muffins. Wait, what? What is this about? No. Why are we talking about muffins? I don't.
It's like, wait a minute. I thought my job as at this insurance company was to deny old ladies coverage. It's like, I thought I was supposed to be an asshole at this corporate. I quit. I'm gonna.
As we're like, no, of course not. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
The ding.
Like, no, it's like, no, you still have to be nice to your boss. Yeah, you have to congratulate us on, providing free I don't know, candy in the break room.
Oh yeah, they love giving free candy in the break room. See, we care about you guys.
Yeah.
Here's a pizza. Sorry, we can't give you bonuses. Here's a pizza instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For real though.
God. That was I worked at booking.com for like a month, and I was like, this is going to be hell. And I just left. I just didn't show up for the third week or whatever. I was just like, yeah, I'm not. I don't think this will be good for my sanity. And
yeah,
I
that would be
remember
great.
like quitting that job and taking a walk like downtown like at sunrise, because I would have had to like leave my house at like 6 a.m. And so instead I got up and sent an email that said I wasn't coming in, and that was that. But it was very much like, yeah, we're gonna pay you $11 an hour to basically like be berated on the phone all day
Nope.
by angry customers.
No thanks.
And yep, and then every year you'll get like a 20-cent raise, and then there's plenty of candy in the break room. Yeah.
So good luck.
Good luck. Good luck. Here's a water bottle with. Here's a water bottle, but don't use it except on your designated, 2 15-minute breaks a day.
Wait, what?
It was just like you had to be like at your desk because it was a call center. Like, so you had to be at your call center desk at specified times.
Oh, jeez.
To ensure coverage.
Yeah, sure. How about ensure this foot up your ass? How about that?
Whoa. That's hot.
Yeah.
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 I wish I could just be a red foreman sometimes, minus the racism, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But that's
like a
point of unions. Oh.
Yeah. Well, it's like when you're a curmudgeon. When you want to be curmudgeonly to everybody equally, no matter their.
That's right.
Demographic position. Yeah. So.
I will be right
Which is
back, guys.
fair.
I'm gonna go get a snack, a lack.
Ooh. Ooh.
I think it is like not admirable, but I think it is a natural and not necessarily bad inclination to want at least the option to be a dick to everybody.
Oh yeah.
When you feel like it.
Oh yeah.
Because that's just like a basic desire for freedom from arbitrary rules and control.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's very. Yeah. Especially when you're just nice all the time, you're just like, all right, well, you deserve the dick, the dickness.
Yeah.
Get down with the dickness. Yeah.
I think it's funny about Red Foreman, just thinking about it now, is like, it's like that show is supposed to be set in the 70s, but it's like this eternal, like, acknowledgement that like the older generation always thinks that they're like tougher.
Oh yeah.
And the younger generation is more
weak and puny
and weak.
Yeah.
and like that's just sort of like a perpetual thing that our culture has.
Dude, I mean, I remember
pretty dumb reasons.
Yeah, cause like it's like someone arguing, like I think it was on Proco, on the Draftsman podcast, when that's brought up, that like idea is brought up, and I think Proco or Marshall, one of the other, was just like, yeah, it's like these people are complaining about these younger generations being lazy or whatever, and then Marshall's is like, yeah, I mean, the hardest working people I know right now are the youngest generation right now, like, and they're the hardest workers.
Well, and that. Yeah, and some of that stuff is like literally just like, yeah, it feels like you're more tough because you've been hardened to the world because you're old.
Right.
Like maybe that's
Right.
why. You feel
'Cause,
that way. And then like the hustlers are going to be young because the hustlers are always young.
Of course,
Because
yeah.
once you've made it, you don't have to work as hard. Like
Yeah. And it was, I think Proco brought up the point of just like, yeah, I remember when I used to hunt with a rock, you know, we would bludgeon our our meat to death, and then now you guys use bow and arrows, like you puny like things or whatever, and then it's like those bow and arrow people are like, oh, I remember when I used a bow and arrow. Now you guys just use firearms all day. You know nothing about killing anything. It's like, what do you mean? Like, we've just advanced. We made it a little easier. But you know, if you want
you don't have to complain about it being easier. Like, just, be thankful. I don't know. I think there is like there's this sort of nobody wants to feel obsolete. I get that.
Yeah.
But it doesn't need to come at the cost of like, because it feels more like that kind of complaining, that like Red Foreman style thing is like, I'm going to put down these young people to make myself feel better.
Yeah. How about I shove my foot up your ass?
Yeah. Well, I guess he's more so like I'm just tired of this.
Yeah.
But I'm just tired of my son, my stupid son.
The reason why bad things happen to you is because you're a dumbass.
Yeah. God.
That's great.
You guys, I got an oatmeal raisin cookie and a glass of milk, like I'm like a white person or something.
Welcome.
That's awesome. I want pizza right now because you said something about pizza earlier, and now I've been thinking about it ever since.
Hotel pizza?
But I can't have pizza right now because I apparently have high blood pressure. Or no, not high blood pressure, high cholesterol. What am I talking? Jeez, my blood pressure is fine. My cholesterol is not, apparently.
Bad.
So now I have to not eat deep dish pizza every other day.
Dang,
like
dude. That sucks, bro.
I mean, not that I used to, but like, I don't know. It's like, I feel like I eat relatively healthy, but I don't know. My good cholesterol is also high, according to the tests.
Well, that's good.
So
hey, there's a win,
Yeah.
There's a win right there. I need to go to the doctor, honestly. I need to go to the doctor, get my eyes checked, do all the grown-up things of checking all that body stuff. So I definitely do need some glasses. But
Do you get okay insurance?
Yeah, I mean, I just need to use it, basically. So I just need to find the time to go out and do that. That's the thing. It's like I only have like a few days of sick leave and then like a week of vacation. But I have to work in order to raise that time to take off. It's so stupid.
Yeah. Pretty shit.
Yeah, it doesn't restart at the end of the year.
System.
You just have to work for it, so it might take longer to get a whole week. I don't know. I don't like it. I don't like the way it works.
Yeah, it's like, it's like most of the time, doctors and dentists' office are open during the time that everybody else is working. So.
Yeah, not on the weekends.
Yeah.
Sucks.
Yep. Not at a convenient time for the consumers who need it, but it's like also like, it's really not necessarily their fault. It's just it's the employer's fault for not allowing their staff the time to actually use the benefits they're given.
Yeah. Like, give me doctor visit leave, man, and I'll come back with the doctor's note.
One nice thing when I was working at the school district was like we had like this emergency time. That's what they called it, but it was like really just like, oh yeah, you can just take like 20 hours off non-consecutively during like a given period. So you take an hour here to like go to an appointment or an hour here to do something, you know.
Yeah.
And so that was pretty nice.
Oh dang. Must be nice to get taken care of, huh? No.
Yeah, it was. I was pretty stupid to quit that job.
Pretty stupid.
It was pretty. Yeah. Bad idea. All things all told. Although I did recently do a gig for them again because I was I'm working with one of the curriculum consultants there and a guy, professor of mine from college, on this Dungeons and Dragons professional development thing for teachers.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we were just like, they brought me in as a consultant because I played D&D. I basically have 2 degrees in Dungeons and Dragons at this point, based on how long I've been playing.
It's amazing.
I've been a dungeon master for like 8 years, so they brought me in to like basically just to play Dungeons and Dragons with some teachers, and that was kind of awesome. They said it was the most fun they've had at a teacher training in ever.
Ever.
Yeah, because those meetings suck.
Yep.
They suck ass most of the time.
Yeah. Seems like it. Seems like it, man. I do not want to do that. I was going to be a teacher at one point in my life. It's crazy.
Yeah, well, hey, maybe you still will.
Hey, I mean, I was going to say that.
teacher.
I mean, there's still time.
Yeah.
I know I got a friend, it's not confirmed yet, but talking about doing a comics workshop for kids in the summer. So,
And, oh yeah, dude.
Yeah,
parents hate having to spend all day with their kids.
Yeah.
Get rid of them somehow. I'm going to be working with my professor friend. We're doing a Dungeons and Dragons camp for like middle school and high school kids.
Oh, nice.
Over the summer. And so usually I just do one session with them that's just like a drawing characters or like, you know, kind of thing.
Yeah.
But this summer I'm going to be like the co-coordinator for that. So the only hiccup with that is I got to go spend the night at the dorms to chaperone these kids for the overnight session.
Okay.
It'd be like being back at school. Luckily, the college is like right across the street from the house. So it's easy.
Okay. It's not too
With
bad.
children?
Yeah, with children. Ugh. Most of them are cool. Some of them are nuts.
Some of them are gross.
More like
Almost
cool,
all of them
am I
are
right?
gross.
Oh.
Yeah.
I really
yeah.
fucking nailed it.
You really did.
Nailed it.
I'm proud of you. But yeah, I just need to think about how to kind of teach kids about comics. That's been on my mind recently. It's like, how do I simplify it? You know? How do I make it fun for like the few weekends that we have? You know, it's gonna be like his idea was to do like a few weekends throughout the month in the summer, and I'm just like, how do I break that up and make it chunky enough? Like, do I do like a 4-pager? You know, by the end of it, we'll have 4 pages done at least, or do I like give them homework to do another page at home or something? I don't know. Like.
Yeah, with kids, I'd say your best bet is like, because you're gonna get like wildly different levels of probably of interest and skill, and like desire, because like some of the because even with the D&D camp, it's like you'd expect most of those kids to like have volunteered themselves to be there and actually want to be there, but then there are a lot of them who are just like they expressed mild interest and that was enough for their parents to be like, okay, you're doing this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Get out of the house.
Yeah. Yeah, get out of the house, or you need to have an activity or whatever it is. I'd say, yeah, depending on your age range, like if it's like high school kids, definitely something more regimented might be helpful for some of them. But then if it's like really young kids, or like even like middle school, it's like something free form, something like, you don't have to get a page. I wouldn't say like a page uh, minimum or something, but more like okay, well, your story should have like the beginning, the setup. It should have like you should maybe structure it as like the beats of a story, where it's just like and you structure the like lesson kind of planning around those like larger beats. So then you could do like, okay, here's how you set up like a conversation. How do you make dialogue interesting? How do you make the poses for the fight scenes interesting? And you kind of take it that way. But
Okay.
that's just me spitballing. Just make it as goofy as fun as possible and let them do whatever the fuck they want.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
Possible.
I'm trying to make it fun because I think they're going to be around middle school.
Yeah.
So, or at least like older middle school kids. So, just like, all right, how do I make this a good time for those kids, man? I don't want it to be a drag, like, oh, I gotta go to the comic class,
Yeah.
Wait, are comics not cool these days? I don't know anymore. Like especially with like manga being a thing, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe
Kids will
it's
find a
right.
way to think anything's lame.
Especially Gen Z, I think that's the case. But it might also be because I live in California in a Latino neighborhood, and people are really into manga and anime here. So
Yeah,
Of course they are.
I think you're gonna get a lot of kids who are into that. It's just like I think it's just something to be said for like once you try anything for the first time, and it's difficult. Like some people get really fired up about that, and some people are like, I actually didn't want to do this as much as I thought. And there's like nobody who's more exemplary of that than like middle schoolers.
Yeah.
so true.
I will
So
say.
I think you could have quite a lot of fun with it.
Yeah, and also you really only need like, you're just trying to reach that one kid. Maybe they don't even know it yet.
Yeah.
But they're gonna look back and
Some
be
kids
like,
will come in and they'll be drawing better than like it'll be like you look at their drawing like because I've experienced this with the D&D camp and it's like this kid is like doing like basically like monster design like one pagers like like pretty awesome stuff like really sophisticated stuff for their age and I'm just like damn, if I was doing that at their age, who knows where I'd be? It's just like
I'd be a fucking master right now.
Yeah. But you see that, and then it makes you. Sorry, I'm eating some pudding.
Okay.
Yeah. But it like seeing that especially will really inspire you to be like, I have to make sure that I water this and nurture this little plant that I've found because someday it's gonna blossom into a big beautiful tree.
Yeah.
And I don't want to snuff it out by being a lame-o. You
Yeah,
know?
that's what I'm afraid of. It's like I don't want to be that teacher that's like, do it this way, and then they're like, comics suck or art sucks. You know what I mean? I want to make it fun for the kids, but also I want them to. I want them to get something out of it, but I guess I should just like.
Yeah.
I don't know. I honestly have no idea what I should do for them. Workshop.
Yeah, I guess it also you maybe have to do a little backwards engineering too on like how much time are you actually going to have with them?
Yeah.
What materials do they have access to? Yeah. So
I don't know. I
definitely
mean,
don't want to be talking at them too much, but
yeah. It's like, is it
You
gonna
can
be
help
like
it.
more like a drawing class than anything? Like,
yeah, is it more a drawing class or a storytelling class or some combination of both? Like,
yeah.
yeah.
Because I do at least want to leave them with like a worksheet, or not a worksheet, but a reference sheet, like at the end of the class. Be like, hey, here are other resources if you want to dive deeper. Like here are a list of books, here are a list of like YouTube channels, a list of other stuff that you might find interesting if you're getting serious about it after this course. You know, I at least want to have that for him at the end of it.
Yeah, leave him with, and then be like, and if you'd like a personal tutor in comics for only, only $500,000 a year, you can hire me. You can hire me, Manny Draws, to be your person. And maybe one of them is like one of Elon Musk's like many bastard children.
Yeah.
And they actually have that kind of money.
Yeah. That's how you do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
go. Pretty legit. Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's so funny. I mean, whatever works, right? Whatever pays the bills.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude.
I'm just kidding. No, but
how many kids does Elmo have? Elon. He has a daughter who's completely estranged from him, right? Among other reasons, because he's transgender and he's super transphobic.
Yes.
Whoa.
Yeah.
What? Really?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Mm-hmm.
I did not.
Well, he
know
has
that.
like does he have something crazy like 19 kids, or am I thinking of a different celebrity person?
I don't know that that's crazy. I think that might be actually right. I would not put it.
Oh my god.
What?
I think that's yeah.
No way.
Kind of nuts.
No freaking way, dude.
What's weird is that he's actually not that bad looking a guy. He's highly problematic.
Yeah, he's just highly problematic.
He becomes bad looking the more you know. It's kind of like if he was actually as cool as everybody thought he was like 10 years ago.
He's got that like.
Then he would be good looking.
Nerd vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. But he's kind of squandered that image at this point.
Yeah. Just a wee bit there.
Just a wee bit.
He's actually South African, so I don't know why you just did an Australian accent, but okay.
Oh.
Oh.
I didn't even think about that. That's funny.
Not all white accents are the same. So
just so you know.
Yeah. What are distinctions that don't matter for 500? I structured that Jeopardy joke not correctly, but I think we got there.
Oh, I got it.
Yeah.
It was good. It was good.
we didn't just get there. I lived there.
Yeah, I said distinctions that don't matter for 500, Alex.
Alex.
There we go.
Alex.
Alex.
Yeah.
Trebek?
We love him.
Peace. Yeah.
R.I.P.
He rip.
He rip.
There are people like that who I'm like, sometimes I forget that they passed away, and there's other people where I'm like, you're still alive. Also, is Charles dying? Like, that seems like that's what's happening. King Charles.
Oh, I don't know.
So it came
just
out.
Die.
The royal family came out and announced that he has cancer, and I read it. Actually, I watched a video about someone who like does media, and they're like, that is almost for sure a prelude to announcing that he's like it's terminal, because they wouldn't have really announced that if that were because it's not relevant, right? If he happens to just be like dealing with a benign cancer. So, anyway, good job, Diana from on high. I'm sorry, she's not petty like us. She's better than us. By the way, I've just been having fun hanging out with you guys and sketching a little bit, but I'm actually like, if I got nothing else from this study, I do feel more confident about the sculpt. I think I'm ready to start blocking it in tomorrow. But mostly, the goal is not to completely understand the forms, and also something I learned from the Aslog fan art project was that it's a comic book, right? Like, he didn't do these designs with this idea that it would be sculpted in 3D, and like something that you guys actually brought up when we talked about Murder Falcon is that, in fact, if you go even the same scene, like that one scene where Jake's like getting this right before he sees Anne.
Oh yeah.
And it's like panels of him in front of the door. Each of those panels are technically the same scene, but they look a little bit different, right? Because he like manually drew them. So that being the case, I think that I not only do I not need to worry about complete fidelity to the design, I think that would be foolish for me to do. I think that it makes more sense to think of like, what is the vibe? Like, what is Murph's vibe? Like, what do I mean to say about him as a sculptor? And then, you know, no one's checking my homework on the really detailed forms. Like, as long as it looks roughly like a mech arm, I think people will be happy. So
Yeah.
Totally.
I agree.
So I feel confident to get started, if that makes sense. And I'll solve the problems in 3D as they arise. But yeah, some of this stuff I'm realizing it's just because it looks cool. I think that's why Dan did it.
Yeah.
Looks cool.
Pretty much. I mean, that's an argument he brings up a bit. Is like, I mean, Jack Kirby was always like, I mean, if it looks good, it looks good. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
On to the next page. It doesn't have to be anatomically correct. It just has to look cool on the page. So, although I mean, Dan kind of takes it a little step further, but I mean, you know, if that's the rule he's going with, I think you should go with that rule too.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And just having fun with Murder Falcon he's gonna love it, no matter what. It's like someone did another fan piece, so.
What if he shares this one too?
I'm sure he will.
Hey.
Yeah. I have no doubt.
Yay! I love him. He's my friend. He's not my friend actually. Or it's kind of like when someone's your boyfriend but they don't know.
That's fair.
Daniel Warren Johnson's my friend, but he doesn't know it.
Yeah. We're best friends. I
was
call
so
him all the time. But he doesn't know it yet.
Yeah, but he doesn't know it. He doesn't pick up, but
Yeah.
He was so gracious and so sweet when I reached out to him. I do think that it was like cool to make the Skybound connection, you know, because like we know of some of the same people, and I just think that he would enjoy that because it is not obvious. One would not immediately think, oh, here's a lawyer who makes art. Like they also work for Skybound. Like that's a weird circumstances.
Right, or people would think like, oh, like you're a lawyer now for Skybound, but like at this point, if they looked at your like body of work, they'd be like, oh, did you work in like art for them? Like, is that how you got in this position? Like, is that how you got connected? But no.
Nope, it was actually just being a lawyer. I think I can share this on stream. One of my coworkers, or actually one of the heads, one of the VPs whom I'm really close with, he sent to me and my boss this nice screenshot of one of the game studio members talking about me.
Oh.
And there's like he had come from another video game studio, and he's like, by the way, Sam is probably the coolest lawyer I've ever worked with. He's so thorough, so responsive, and like very knowledgeable. And he's like, compared to the lawyers I used to work with at the studio. Yeah, and the word he uses so sweet. He's like, he's a god. Sam's a god. And I was like, but I am. That's the thing, is I'm actually a very good lawyer. And the big reason why is because I fucking know this shit, right? Like I know this space. It's like when I'm drafting a contract and it involves art, I mean, you don't like. I actually was. I recently did a contract that was for a 3D artist, and I actually proposed some language to the studio head. He's like, "Oh, dude, all of that's a good call." He's like, "You just put all of that in there," just because there wasn't a lot of clarity about what the deliverable was. And I was like, "Here's like we know it's in ZBrush, but here's maybe a few other details you guys should add." He's like, "Yeah, that's great. Throw that all in there." So that's I think why that guy said I'm a god, is because like I don't think that there's not a lot of lawyers I know, because a lot of lawyers, they're the kinds who were like in pre-law and they like were really into the idea of being a lawyer. I kind of stumbled into being a lawyer because I thought that it would be a better career change, and it was, you know, from being a software engineer, which I wasn't that good at. But for me, it's always what I've always led with in art and law and my life is that I just follow my interests, right? And that's kind of why I think I'm set apart from other lawyers. Is like there's a lot of lawyers who are like, some of my coworkers like this. They're very good lawyers, but they're like during legal meetings, they'll say things like, "I don't know about any of that. Like I don't get it." It's like, like it's weird that you would say that and not be like have a spirit of curiosity.
Yeah.
Be like, oh, I don't know what that is. Like, where can I learn about it?
Yeah.
But a lot of lawyers don't. They're just like they want it for the money and prestige. And I'm not saying that that makes them a bad lawyer inherently, but when you have someone like me who's enthusiastic and curious, and in my case, very knowledgeable about certain things. It just, it's different. So.
And
moral
also
of the story
suggesting
is-
things that people don't really think of in that art space, but would help them in that art space.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
that's like another level entirely. That's just helping everyone out. So, yeah, you are a god, Sam.
It helps to have someone in the room who's thinking about things from another perspective.
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
Whether it's law or production or whatever, and yeah, so I agree with that, and that's why I'm not losing my job anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, you know both sides,
Yeah.
and that's a lot of lawyers do not. I would assume
They don't.
do not know
Yeah.
about that.
Even the ones who want to, right? It's just like you don't need to catch me up. I'm like, not only do I know this stuff, I'm like living in it. Like,
All the time.
and we have some amazing artists. We have some amazing artists we hired.
That's so cool. So dope.
Are you guys thinking of going to Lightbox this year? I know it's still February, but
I want to so
Yeah.
bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to, but I think I'm gonna make Lightbox like an every other year pilgrimage.
yeah. I actually like, for me, obviously it's different because I'm here, but like
Yeah.
For me personally, I'd love to see you guys as often as possible, but that every other year
Yeah.
cadence makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. If anything, I'm like, I'm kind of like, like if I came, it probably wouldn't just be for Lightbox. Like I may even come out with Maddie or something to visit my cousin. I think it would be, maybe even like we just we do that thing that like with Mel, where he came on the third day and we somebody just lent him like a badge and we just wandered the hall once, because I feel like in terms of like wandering the hall and like going to the lectures and whatever, it was sort of like, yeah, I could see myself like not needing to do that the whole time,
Yeah. Honestly, I could see just getting like a day pass, like figuring out which day has
Yeah.
the most stuff and then picking that day,
Right.
but spending the other 2 days just literally exploring LA and
Yeah.
stuff.
Well,
Or
actually,
going to the
the reason I brought up Lightbox was like, actually, I would love an excuse to actually like explore LA with you guys, like comic book
That would
shops
be
and
so
the
much
day.
fun, honestly. I would just So Nate, you think your cousin would let me stay? No, I'm just kidding.
crash again. No, I would absolutely offer that to you again if it's an option, and I think it would be cool with it. But
I'm
I
just
think
kidding.
I don't think I will go this year.
Yeah.
So it'll be.
No, that's what I'm saying. I could stay without you there. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Imagine that. That'd be so funny.
To be honest,
That would be
Nate,
funny.
you are very unnecessary. And so yeah.
So,
I
well,
just
the
hang out with your
dog
cousin.
seems to like you. So
Yeah, I don't know about the last day, but
yeah, that's true.
Oh man, that was fun
Yeah,
though.
as long as you bring them free art and stuff, they'll be cool with it. For sure. Yeah, that was a good time. Dang. Yeah, so I don't know. I think I'll probably have like a better, like I do want to. I think the next time I go to Lightbox, I really want to make a play for like getting some portfolios in eyeballs, with with people that can give me some good crits and good connections and whatever. So that's probably where I'd like to see. That's the position. Like now that I've kind of like gotten the lay of the land, sort of like know what's up with Lightbox in general. That's what I would make my goal for that.
I just want to hang out with my bros.
Oh no.
Yeah.
I know.
And then there's that obviously, which
like
would be very cool.
those other dudes, like Michelangelo and stuff. They usually in is it Julio? Is it Julio?
Julio. Yeah.
They all got hotels and stuff. And I know they split it up among all the bros. I'm like, maybe I'll
they
just
stayed at an Airbnb.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll just do that. And just get in contact with those dudes and.
Yeah, I'm sure that if they're going, they would be down.
Yeah.
I imagine they'll be going again this year. That's like their big thing now.
Yeah. I want to stay fresh. I want to be like, oh, I saw that guy last time. Yeah, I saw that guy last.
Oh yeah. That's fair. Renulf?
Oh, did I tell you guys about so in my neighborhood, there's this shop called Necroplasm.
That's awesome.
That's run by this.
Whoa.
Yeah, did you see my post about it?
No.
Or not post, my IG story. Yeah, but
No.
it's so cool. It's like a comic, collectibles, novelty shop. So basically, the owner, his name is Andre. He's from the hood, and he's like this. So he's part of the scene that I did not grow up around. But basically, there was a contingent of Latino guys in the neighborhood who were into metal, and that I hung out with the alt rock guys who listen to Nirvana. So it was a slightly different crowd, and so he grew up with that, and he over the years just collected all this shit, horror memorabilia. He's really into Giger, and he also has all these little collectibles, and he's kit bashed them to make his own sculptures that he then painted. So it's these really cool designs. He has all these metal t-shirts and vinyls. At some point he's this I should. So he just hangs out there, and him and his buddies, and he sells things here and there. But it's just wild, because if I could explain, my neighborhood is not. It's it's not really a place you would expect a store like that, and it's just cool that it's in my neighborhood. It's a few minutes away. But yeah, I got my sister. I got her an NES Classic, which was funny. The one that Nintendo came out with recently. But then I got a copy of The Crow, which Manny, you had recommended to me, so I'm going to be reading that, or I've started reading it actually. They also had the first volume of Hellboy, the Mignola one, and I got a few other things as well. But he and I have actually we've been talking almost every day, because he really wants to. He has a 3D printer at the shop. And he's he's like, if you want to experiment, he's like, I'd also love to maybe if you can sculpt some of these designs I've got. He showed me some old art drawings he's done. He's an amazing artist. He's lots of dark art cryptid stuff. He has one that it's Baphomet with 6 arms, and he literally saw in a vision, he said, in a dream, and he drew he woke up and he just drew it. And I was like, I don't have it on me, but actually maybe I do. But dude, it's so sick. It would be so sick as a sculpture. And it'd be cool to be able to stop by the shop and try to play with the 3D printer as well.
Oh, dude, you should totally do that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's it's all about. This is the cool thing about LA. So he works in the industry. He does part-time work as in Hollywood production and things like that.
Oh wow.
On a lot of horror films, and so he knows a lot of actors and things, and it's just just reminds me of being in LA is kind of cool, because you find these little special things.
That's so dope.
Oh, so I don't have that specific drawing, but here's another drawing he did. He did this apparently during detention.
Whoa!
In high school.
What?
Holy crap!
In high school.
Yeah, and he said that
detention well spent.
Yeah, the theme of it is that it's in the Catholic catechism, because he grew up Catholic. Jesus goes into hell, right, after the crucifixion, and so that's what inspired him. And I'm just yeah, it's really, really sick.
That is crazy.
So he's one of those. I told him, I was like, you're the kind of person that I felt insecure about growing up with. Like all of my friends who were good at drawing. I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
He thinks I'm a great digital artist. I showed him my work.
That's awesome. Cause you are a great artist, Sam.
Fuck you. You're just saying that to be nice. If I've learned anything from my neuroses, and I have, it's that you're just making that up to be nice to me.
Okay.
My sister's here. She knows, right, Tiff? Yeah.
Manny actually doesn't. He doesn't have enough brain cells to be creative about art and creative about lying to people about their.
That's true. You are
So,
famously cute and dumb.
Yeah, Manny's brain is only firing on one cylinder, and that's make awesome comics.
Yeah.
That's it. It only works on
That's
that.
the only cylinder he needs. He doesn't. Yeah, he can barely function above level of a slime mold. Otherwise, yeah.
It's so true. I just love the idea that calling someone diabolical or malicious is a compliment. Like, oh, you assume too much of me, sir. That is not I don't have brain cells for that. No, sorry.
I'm actually, yeah.
I wish I was that smart.
Yeah. It's like I wish I could devise such Machiavellian schemes.
By the way, there's another design affect, a graphic conceit that I like, and Dan does this is when you have knuckles, using like kind of rough little ellipses at the knuckles, at the finger joints. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that because it solves multiple problems. One is it can show perspective. When you have like compression. Yeah, this is kind of cool. I'm gonna throw that in. I'm gonna throw that into this.
What a guy, that Dan guy. What a hunk.
He should really he should do art.
He should. I think he should. I think he'd be really good at it, actually.
Yeah, you're his best friend, right? Can you just tell him that?
Yeah, I can call him up because I definitely have his phone number because we definitely go and hang out all the time. Yeah. We're really good friends, actually. Like the best of friends. You wouldn't even believe how good of friends we are. I actually introduced him and his wife, whose name I definitely know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well,
Georgina.
You knew it when it counted when you introduced them.
Yeah.
In a very personal and intimate way.
Yeah, they met and then I left. That's when I left Chicago, actually. Was when they
Yeah,
met.
you said my work here is done, and you jumped out of a window into a moving train.
Yes, I actually stopped the train with my spider webs as well, because it was about to derail.
Yeah, you did that.
I did that, not Tobey
Famously.
Maguire.
Yeah.
Not him.
Not Tobey Maguire, no.
It was me.
I'm just really annoyed that you're bringing this up since this was already in the news. So I don't know why you have to bring it up again. Like we know all this. So.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
I overstepped.
I overstepped.
Yeah.
There I go again.
I accept your apology. Yeah.
Just talking about myself again. Whoops.
I've never done that.
Well,
oh man, you guys, I love you guys.
yeah. Manny, what do you talk about on stream when it's just you, or do you do a lot of solo streams?
When it's just me, I don't really say anything, honestly.
Oh, okay.
It's kind of a guy
curious,
just drawing.
Yeah. I like, well, I find myself, like, if I don't have somebody, like, talking, even in chat, like, talking to me when I'm streaming, I crap out after, like, an hour. I'm just like, I think I've said everything that I could possibly say at this point to nobody.
Yeah.
In particular, like, what the hell else is there to say? Or maybe it's just more tiring, even. It's like, you'd think it would be more tiring to have to interact with somebody, but it's way more tiring to interact with an imaginary person.
Yeah.
That could conceivably watch the thing at a later date.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I think of it as just like a drawing companion kind of thing. Like you put it on, and maybe it's like you feel accountable, like you're in the studio with somebody. Because I mean, I would kind of do that. Although I would do that with like people that are actually talking in the video, but half the time I wouldn't be listening to what they're saying.
Yeah.
So then I'd listen to it again, like if I'm having coffee or whatever. Like Adam Duff streams, like, you know, it's a good drawing companion to have because he's got like the nice little chill music in the back as he's talking about his life and his experiences being an artist. But then half the time I don't remember what he said because I'm drawing and I'm painting when I'm listening to it or whatever. So
sometimes Dave Raposa will stream and he'll just like put music on. Like it'd just be metal music and he won't talk at all and it'll just be like him drawing.
Yeah, that's kind of my vibe. That's I put on synthwave when I draw, and then, you know, there will be like chat that pops up, or like, you know, Jalen will come into the chat and I'll say some stuff with him or whatever. But but most of the time, if no one shows up, I'm just drawing. And then I'll like make a comment like, "Oh, I'm doing this right now because of this." Like I'll explain what I'm doing a little bit if someone is curious. But other than that, it's just hanging out and drawing.
I had a very strange interaction with a fellow the other day, who like kind of like I was doing one of the paintings for like these magic proxies that I'm making, and so like my tags were like magic stuff. So I assume the guy got there that way, like he was like a magic card. He was into magic.
Yeah.
And okay, like he's talking about this deck that he's making. We're just talking about magic cards and stuff, you know. And then all of a sudden, out of left field, he says something like, "My brother is training my nation's troops," and I'm just like, "What? What does that mean?" Like, what? He's just like, "Yeah, I'm starting my own wealth-based nation or something, and we're gonna be." And the troops are to protect us. I was like, what are you? Like, I don't even know how to engage with this. Like, I'm like, this guy's saying he's going to start his own country. Like, and it was like, even, you know, because sometimes you can, like, obviously a lot of things with tone and sarcasm can be lost.
Yeah.
You know, over a text-based medium, but it was so out of left field and so like bizarrely specific that I was like, I think this guy like thinks this stuff. Like, I think, you know what I mean? Like, I think he's like legitimately like considering this or whatever, or like.
Oh, are you serious?
And yeah, and it was just, you know, it was just funny. Like, it was like funny to think about. I don't know. It definitely made it easier to So I was just like drawing and painting away, and I was just like,
I think I'm gonna leave.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, dude. And I was, you know, at a certain point, I was just like, yeah, dude, I'm kind of getting hungry. I'm gonna have to go make some lunch.
Yep, that's when you do that. That's when you get out of that. That's when they start talking about making a country and troops and shit. That's insane.
Yeah, I was like, what? Like. You said something about like it would be based on wealth and not land, and I'm like, I don't like I assume this is like some crypto bro stuff or something. I don't know what that means. I mean, I could like sort of like extrapolate what he means by that, but kind of. The whole thing about countries is that they make up money because they have land and power.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like the land, from the land cometh the wealth. Like it's like this magical thing that exists without, you know, having a place to put people and
dude, it's just like, yeah, magic cards are cool. Anyway, I want to start my own country.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the oligarchy? And you're like, okay,
yeah, it's like, I mean, sure.
I'm just drawing.
Yeah, it's dicey. It's like dicey, like, because like I'm a political science degree holder. I studied things. I am well versed in some things still, and not so much in others. But it's always dicey when it's like, hey, do you want to talk about this, or do you want to talk about that with like a stranger online? Because it's like they could have a perspective on things that you do not want to broach
Yeah.
that discussion at all. Like they could have some crazy stuff hidden in their little old brain that you're like, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole.
Yeah.
But hey, I guess it beats talking into the void to nobody.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm gonna go. No.
Yeah.
That's
like, oh no! And now Nate's brain has been infected by some rando on the internet. Now he's gonna go and start his own nation.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, hey, if you
Manny,
need help,
would
you
like
let
to
me
try?
know. No.
Yeah, would you like to train my troops in guerrilla warfare?
Yeah, I definitely know about that. 100%.
Yeah.
I've played Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Wait, why are the gorillas fighting? I don't.
What about the chimpanzees?
What about the chimpanzees? What about
Presumably-
chimpanzees?
Yeah.
They're actually better at it, I think, by all accounts.
By all accounts.
The chimps, yeah. Have you seen the? Yeah, you've seen the movies with.
The movies.
You've seen the movies. Yeah, the movies where they take over the planet.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. What is it? Planet Chimp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chimp Planet.
No. You're thinking of Planet of the Chimps versus Kong. That's the.
Yes.
The Chimps versus Kong would be an awesome crossover. Yeah.
You're thinking of that one.
Yeah. Yeah, when are they going to do Planet of the Apes versus Predator or something?
I demand
Planet
it.
of the Apes versus Alien, yeah.
I just got my my ballot for the presidential primary, and I'm just
Oh,
gonna
wow,
put that in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna put that in as my write-in for
There you go.
the local senator.
I think
Caesar the Chimp?
Caesar the Chimp.
Yeah, the one from the movie?
Yeah, for Planet of the Apes. Yeah.
Andy Serkis.
Planet of the Chimps. Oh god.
I would rather, yeah. I mean, I think it'd be fair to have, at least one or two, like actual animal representatives in state and local and federal government, just to represent our animal brethren in this country.
How do you feel about
You
how do you feel about that, Whiskers? Roof.
Yeah.
It's like, is that a yes? I don't know. I don't speak Chihuahua.
Well, you've seen the videos of like the dogs. They give the dogs all the buttons, and the dogs press the buttons.
Oh,
to say that
yeah.
they want like a specific snack, or they want to go outside, or they want a ball. And that's what we do with we put like bills and stuff in front of them, and then they would choose what amendments would go in the bill.
Imagine dogs as judges.
Yeah, they would be. Dogs can administer some pretty judgmental stares.
Oh yes.
Even the dogs you think are on your side, they can
Guilty.
judge you.
Guilty,
Yeah.
guilty, bitch.
Yeah, Track. That sounds like something Track would
Yeah.
say.
Track sometimes looks at us very judgmentally.
I bet.
But we deserve it. We deserve every moment of it.
Love you, Track.
We deserve it.
Yes.
Oh man. I don't even know. I'm just putting marks down right now at this point.
Yeah, I've just been inking over random old sketches.
Oh yeah?
You guys want to see my furious notes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once again, if I can figure out how to share this, you think I would know by now. Yeah, I think tonight was mission accomplished for me in terms of what I wanted to do.
I was gonna pencil, but I didn't. Again.
So I just like wrote down. I wrote down keywords for each of these, not because I think that's what they are, but because that's what they like. Each of the elements reminds me of.
Yeah.
And what I find is I'm gonna then drop this sketch into my PRF board, but it's not about the fidelity to these notes, but more about the process of having written them down forced me to break things down. And so now I feel way more confident tackling this project. You know, when you start on something, especially if it's an existing concept, it just seems like it's just like this huge fucking just smorgasbord of just forms, right? And you're like, fuck, how do I even start with this?
Mm-hmm.
And so for me, tonight was just about, hey, calm down, Sam, take a look. Like, what do each of these things look like? And I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm down. Should I give him a PP? Like, and no one else needs to know about it?
Yeah.
Oh, it could just be in there, like.
Yeah. Or just like a slight suggestion of form.
Just a little bulge. Just a little bulge.
Just as a treat,
Sam,
you know?
Nobody can tell you what to do with your art.
Especially not Daniel Warren Johnson.
He's gonna be like, he gave him a dick. This is crazy.
I'll be like, honestly, Daniel, I think you intended this the whole time, whether you knew it or not. Yeah. I think it was inside of you.
This could be the thing that inspires him to create the next volume of.
That's right. That's right.
I'm talking. Yeah. It's like, but we didn't explore Murph having a penis. Basically the.
Yeah, I think that's the next step.
It's the next logical step in the narrative.
Yeah, I agree. I concur.
PP. Pee and poo poo.
Nope, not that one.
I'm sorry, Manny, when you said nope, not that one, I assume you're talking about a pen or something. But
yeah.
The way it came out, it was like, Sam was like, pee-pee and poo-poo, and then you said, nope, not that one. Oh, man.
No one here supports my projects. Just trying to follow the art that's coming out of me, and here Manny's just poo-pooing it. Or pee-peeing it, I don't know.
Not that one.
Yeah.
Not that, yeah, neither it turns out. They're both wrong. So, fuck me, I guess. Fuck me.
Yeah, I was sorry. I just took out a pen and was like, nope, not that one.
Yeah, that was perfect timing. That was quite serendipitous.
Who's Sarah? Nidipidus?
Dipidus. Serendipitous.
Cernibidus. Cernibidus. Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Earlier, I was thinking, yeah.
What?
I thought Sam was going to say something, and I just...
Nope.
Stop.
You can safely ignore me.
I was like, I gotta do these cowboy goblins.
Oh yeah.
I was gonna work on that tonight, and I did a couple sketches, but they're very rough and ready.
Oh dude.
I was thinking it would be funny to do. Do you know like the Long John pajamas? Like that they wore in like Western times. Yeah. I was thinking of doing like a couple of goblins like in those, with like hats and maybe boots, because sometimes it's like, oh, we didn't have time to get our getup on, but we've been ambushed, or we're sitting around the campfire or what have you.
Yeah.
That would be funny.
Yeah, whatever you want to do, man. Sounds good to me.
Okay, you asked for it.
Yeah, just gotta be cowboy themed. And not X-rated.
Okay.
Don't we're not doing X-rated stuff in this book.
Yeah.
Since I know that's a big theme that you dive into, you know, like with your goblins. Yeah.
Yeah. Goblins doing nasty
Doing the dirty. Yeah.
nasty things.
Oh, I'm a
Other
goblin.
goblins.
Yeah.
Oh,
My name's Goblin Man.
I'm a goblin and I have needs.
I got needs. I don't know what's going on.
I don't know. Let's just cut that off at the before it goes any further. Before we say anything we regret live to the world.
Never done that in my life. Definitely not on Xbox Live.
Yeah, I think I was not like I didn't have the mental fortitude to play multiplayer games as a young lad.
Yeah, me neither. I got so mad so fast.
I just mean, there's that part of it, and then there's the I was just too scared to interact with other human beings.
Oh, got you. Yeah,
Even
dude,
in a virtual setting.
I had friends that just loved shit talking. They just loved it. But me and my buddy Biddy, we were the quiet ones. We were like, we don't want to talk to anybody.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in this chat with everyone. And then it's like, then we start our own
game
fight.
in peace.
Yeah. I want to have fun. And then we stopped playing Call of Duty and we started having fun. It's crazy. Who knew?
Yeah. Yeah, my brother was really into Call of Duty, and he would like practice, like he would like play against like not even a bot, but like he would just have two controllers, and I'd walk in and I'd be like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "I'm practicing like tomahawk throws."
Oh,
like, across the map at like the right angle, like so. It's just like hitting the other guy who's like standing still, like trying to judge the tomahawk. Yeah.
Gosh. I remember those Xbox 360 days, man. On Halo 3. That was fun. That was a lot of fun. I do remember that. Halo was a lot of fun back in the day.
Halo has that has the epic music.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's iconic, dude.
Yeah. Combat evolved. We have guns, and also sometimes a pokey sword, and also sometimes a big hammer.
Yeah, and it was
This is
awesome.
the next stage in combat.
Duh.
This is what combat will look like in the future. Dudes jumping around with big hammers.
Dudes jumping around with big hammers. Yes.
They're like Jedi, but with hammers.
It was
and
awesome.
guns.
Hammers is guns. Guns is hammers. Hammer guns.
Yeah.
Coming to theaters near you.
Or whatever streaming service the Halo show is on.
Whatever streaming service your mom's paying for, nerd.
Whoa. Whoa.
Yeah. Wasn't there? So I have not seen the Halo show. I've never been a Halo fan, so I have no interest in watching it, obviously. But apparently there was like a sex scene with Master Chief in the show. So maybe moms would be into that.
They're like, oh, my son loves this show, or loves this game. I wonder what this is about. And then they watch and they're like, I really like this show.
Yeah, and then people will be like, "Why are you watching Halo?" It's just, oh, my son's into it. I just want to understand my son.
It's just immediately defending herself.
Yeah, just listen. I wouldn't be into this smut if it weren't for my son. If it weren't for my big beautiful son.
They're just like, what? That doesn't sound good at all. What are you?
Like, why'd you phrase it like that, ma'am?
Oh man, I think I did it, friends. I think I did it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think
Let's go.
This is it. I think. Actually, hold on.
Look at that arm. That arm looks crazy.
Yeah.
You could really smash some stuff up with that.
Oh, he smashes.
I think that hair is so
Abs.
sick.
Oh,
Yeah, the hair.
The noodle hair. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the grab.
You're really good with the ink, sir.
Thank you, my friends. I put in some background stuff in there and then covered it up with smoke for once. This isn't like the first time I'm covering up the background with smoke. So,
Do what you gotta do.
yeah. Still spent like probably 4 hours inking this, but it's good. We're done.
Type the lettering grab.
Thanks.
That's also very,
Yeah.
very DWJ.
I thought that would be funny. Grab. Cause I got another one's in the, I think later on. I did enjoy the previous page though. You guys saw earlier with the rumble. I basically just choose a font in like Clip Studio or Photoshop or whatever. I mess with it, and then when I print it out, I ink on top of it. So that's how I do the lettering.
Yeah.
But I just like really
Gotcha.
mess with it and like mess with the sizing and stuff or whatever.
Right. No, that's smart. That's a good idea.
But sometimes I just do, if it's like chaotic stuff, I'll just hand letter it on
Yeah.
on the paper. But yes, this is it. I did it. Now what's the next page? What's the next page?
And that break, 'cause I realized I just drew for basically an hour and a half without a break earlier. Oh, did someone just join? No one joined.
Yeah, I think. I think I did the same, and I was drawing during. Like, I jumped into Steven's stream at like 6:30, around 6:30 when he started, and I was drawing then. But I also feel like I didn't do that much. Like, well, let's see.
You
I was
probably
drawing
did.
some vampires.
I feel like you guys are always doing stuff. It doesn't feel
drew
like a
that.
lot, but it is.
Here's a guy. He's not quite done yet. I'll post him.
Yeah.
I will post him in the chat.
Yeah, like I felt like I was being a delinquent and totally slacking off, and then I realized that just this month I put out 3 different projects, right? And yeah, like some of them were. Oh, that's really nice, Nate. That's really nice.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, nice, dude.
Cool.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
your lines are so clean, bruh.
They really are.
I feel like doing these. I got a couple that are like partially finished. Yeah, I feel like doing these paintings has actually improved my inking a little bit too. Or like, you know, when you like haven't done something in a while and then you come back to it and you remember you were like tired of it and then you remember what you like about it.
Oh yeah.
That's how I kind of feel with like doing these more like line art stuff right now. It's like, oh yeah, I remember why I like this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know why you do, but I love looking at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your use of it's something that actually I want to use more often, but that kind of ambient occlusion type where you drop that in really makes you. I've noticed you use it a lot. I remember I briefly got into kind of stylized drawing, like when I did the Hermes drawing, around the time my dad passed away. I used that a lot. And I guess now that I'm doing 3D, I've kind of lost that thread a little bit because you're like, well, the light is the way it is, but actually it doesn't need to be. You can literally turn on ambient occlusion, and so like getting those those deep pockets of shadow become part of the design really helps to anchor the design. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's something I want to do more of because I feel like it's been like a thing that I started leaning into, and I realized it's like, oh, this makes it a lot punchier than just having the line art. Or it's like, even if I was going to take this and go back and like color it and stuff and add shadow, like having those big bold shadows there would still be something you'd see in like a comic book. Like even if a colorist was going to go over it and add shadow, it's like. That's something like Dave Finch talks about a lot, where he's like sometimes he'll often say like he sometimes overworks like a page when he's inking, where it's like like actually like the way that I did these shadows doesn't make any sense for how this is going to be colored and lit, but like I was having too much fun with it, or I just went too far, and you're just working on your own stuff. It doesn't really matter.
Nope. Nah. Cause I am the colorist.
I think actually I just realized that in the and this will probably be the rest of my night, is in the particular scene I want to do of Merv. Remember he's already got to his mega form where he has the wings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to just do a little bit of study on that. Not too much. I mean, it's pretty clear it's wings. I don't know what more needs to be said about it. I'm gonna sketch that out.
But they're metal wings, and they're sick.
They're metal wings, and that's gotta count for something, you know.
Oh, it's metal. It's freaking metal, man. It's freaking metal, dude.
But yeah, going back to kind of the fact that we do a lot, is I think I forget how prolific I am, because I have way too high of standards, and also I like measure things based on what I see on social media.
Yeah.
And those are people who are like the people who like that's the thing that they do, right? That's their livelihood, and they're turning beautiful paintings out, beautiful sculptures out. Like it seems almost every other day. Actually, I should say one nice thing about 3D is that the cadence is usually lower, and I found that a lot of 3D artists I follow, they have no qualms about posting like a project as they're working on it, like different works in progress, because you know the sculptures just take long. They just take a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, yeah, the fact that I'm able to put out as much as I am is actually not that bad.
Yeah.
But also,
I'm kind of like. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say it also doesn't matter. Like it's the speed that it needs to be. That's all that really counts. But sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say I mean I'm finding that like these more heavily rendered like painterly style pieces that I've been doing, like the first one, that demon one, I've spent like quite a bit of time on it, and then I was like, well, now I want to do a bunch in this style, but I'm trying to like set these deadlines for myself, and I'm realizing
by the way,
like
I've been off of everything. Did you finish that?
which one?
The demon.
The demon one? Kind of.
Okay.
But that was the one I submitted to Steven's Nightshade thing,
okay,
and he gave me some crits that were like, yeah, I think it's done for the purposes of when I print it for the proxy card that I'm making. But I think it's not done for the purposes of like making it a fully fledged like portfolio piece. I think I'm gonna go back in and implement some of Steven's crits and just kind of like unify the values a little bit and kind of drive home some of the bigger ideas with more ethereal lighting on the little philosopher guys and stuff like that. So
I mean, I guess if you want to listen to a snake oil salesman like Steven Zapata, that's fine.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, it's like literally shilling a product called Nightshade,
Yeah, I mean that's sketchy as fuck. Yeah.
With like his. Oh, did you guys hear that?
Huh?
It's
No.
thundering over here. There's a
Oh.
big. It's a big storm, big spooky
I
storm.
just assumed you were
I thought
farting.
something.
Yeah.
No, it's same diff. But anyway, yeah. Why should I listen to that snake oil salesman? Indeed.
Or like Steven's is a patent.
This shit takes a
no.
long time though.
It's a patent, no.
Yeah. That's the
Nailed it, honestly. Once
next
again.
level fun.
Truly,
Yeah.
it's beautiful.
I should talk to that guy. I love him.
It's true. I love him too.
He's
Nate,
busy.
are you trying to get into game design, like a studio, or what do you?
It depends. I would do that kind of work. I think I'm leaning more towards like illustration now.
Let's go. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, and so I want my portfolio pieces to be like more like this kind of like fully fledged like painterly stuff. But on the other hand, I mostly just want to be able to have product I can sell consistently to a target to a more targeted audience. So I think I want to hit the. There are some people that like make their livelihood just doing like Magic card proxy stuff,
Yeah.
And like they don't necessarily even end up working for Wizards of the Coast, but that would be cool. I think that's where I want to lean, just because Magic, I'm finding Magic and like D&D just have all of the stuff that I like to draw like baked into those fandoms. And so I don't, it's like I don't need to worry that like what I'm drawing is not going to appeal to the people I want to sell to,
Yeah.
basically. Because I don't want to have to like draw pet portraits.
Yep.
And shit like that.
I get you.
I mean,
Honestly, surprised by that
Yes.
because the entire time I've known you, I'm just like, this
You
guy
should-
makes puppies. I don't know what he does.
yeah.
You should do
It's like, it's like these zombies and these weird demon things look great, but I think puppies are really more where he would
Yeah.
see success. Yeah.
I really like that. Just that awareness of I like that idea that like there's a genre or there's like a space where I'm just gonna find the things I like to draw more easily,
Yeah, you find the space where there's no friction if you can.
Yeah, or minimal. There's always gonna be a little bit, especially if
Yeah.
you're doing art for others. But like you want the highest fighting chance of it. Yeah, having minimal friction. It's a bit of like why this whole thing with this exhibition I'm doing in Berkeley is like. I actually got tarot card readings from Austin and from a few other of my friends, and like actually the readings for the year were like really good, and they were kind of along the lines of like, all the stuff that you've been working on is gonna kind of come to fruition this year, but the main vibe I got off of the readings was of the quality of like, Sam, you actually kind of know what you like, which is actually not something a lot of young artists can say. Is you know the things you like looking at, you know what you like to make and stuff. So it's sort of what's happening this year is me getting in touch with the situations and the communities that will lead me to those things I like more often, right? And so the whole thing with the exhibition is really cool because that audience is going to be my real audience for my art. Like, as much as I love our online Discord communities we're on, like, let's be honest, most of the art I make is not stuff that our people give a shit about, right? Like, I do religious art. No one really cares about that in our spaces. No one's fault. That's just what it is. But
Yeah,
I'm gonna be.
I think.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, go. Well, I was just gonna say, I think to that point though, it's kind of like the groups that we're in are relatively small, and that means that almost like none of us have like a super strong like content level overlap. There's like some of that. I mean, and like Manny, like you kind of do more. I mean, you do fantasy stuff, but it also has this like kind of like sci-fi spin to it that like I don't really ever delve into. Like our stuff, like sort of like on a surface level, you could say has like a similar vibe, but like I don't know, like not per se, like not totally. And so
Yeah.
I think, and the same could be said for you, Sam. Like even though your stuff is kind of specific, like in terms of it being like a cult influence, like that stuff is also like a super strong like seed ground for like fantasy, like in general, like throughout
Yes.
history.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
there's still that strong like thematic overlap there, but I get what you mean. It's like the true audience in terms of like who would be interested in, purchasing, what I'm making, who would be interested in like, discussing the thematic elements of it,
putting
like
it on their putting it on their wall
more
at
than an
home.
art level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like who? Yeah, like not that that's the only metric, but a good. It's such an obvious one when you say it out loud. But maybe as we're learning things, we don't want to think about it too much. But like, would people want to put my art on their wall? Like that. That's it's really as simple as that. And the fact is, a lot of people wouldn't want to put my art on the wall. I mean, some of my art is actually quite ridiculous. Like it's kind of, like no one wants that picture of me, basically being a traumatized kid. Like I'm not putting that on my wall. You know. So that's a lot of my art is like that. But the angel stuff, there are a lot of people who would like to put that on my wall. It's just not really the people I'm hanging out with these days, and that's okay. I think also there's something to be said. I thought what you were gonna say, Nate, was that the communities we're in are very heterogeneous, which they also are, right? They're small. They're quite heterogeneous in the sense that like we found each other because I think that we're all huge art nerds, but we're all kind of like doing our own thing, and so we aren't often our own audience. Like even like Austin Hambrick, for example, like the stuff he makes is like that's for like he actually does pretty well on the psychedelic art or whatever it's called subreddit, which makes sense because that's what the art is about. Like that's his people. But when he comes onto the Discord servers, he's engaging with us as fellow artists, and then it's different.
Yes. Yeah. Totally. I was gonna say, yeah. Actually, when I was talking about like, the differences, between us and Manny, for example, like neither of us, Sam and I, like don't, like we don't do comics. Like that's just not like really an area of interest for us as creators. But like, yeah.
Yeah, as fans and observers for sure. That's another thing too. Is like that's how I kind of got turned about for a while. Was that there's a lot of stuff I like looking at. Actually quite a bit, but that doesn't mean I want to be the one to make it. And then add on to that the other, which is okay. Make who want to look, and all of those are different. They're not the same people, and. It becomes, I think, then a challenge of, especially for any of us who want to make something happen with this, that we find all the right balance and the right, spaces and communities and contexts in which we're really going to be appreciated, and to not also take it personal when you're in a space where you're not going to be appreciated because not everything's for everyone.
Yeah. This shit's hard.
It is hard because there's a lot of reasons it's hard, but one of them is that I don't always know. I don't always know what people are gonna like of my art, to be honest.
I mean, when I went to Heroes Con, and Tyrell walked up to my table, I was just like, I mean, I don't, like he walked up and he was looking through stuff, and then my comment was just like, I mean, I don't know, man. I just draw monsters and I hope people like it. And then he was just like, that's what we all do, man. We just draw stuff and we just hope people will like it. Like, and then sometimes careers happen,
Damn, that's so, like, that's something that my brain knows, but for some reason hearing it from such an established artist, it just reminds me how true it is.
Yeah. He's just like, dude, I mean, we're all doing the same thing. We're literally all doing the same thing. And I was like, you're the man.
Which is, which again, like, I think I mentioned to you guys that I had a similar moment like that you had with Tyrell, I had with Pete Moorbacher, where when Pete started his new server, like that first week I was talking to him like almost every day. I still keep in touch with him a little bit, but like he's one of my big art parents. And then what happened is that he was going through his portfolio, some of his early work, and something just dawned on me. I was like, oh, Pete's not Pete's like cool and all, but he's like me. Like he just makes stuff and then he hopes it takes, you know? Like
Yeah.
he showed me some of his stuff and some of the stuff is like quite good or bad. And then I also need to remember like I love Pete in part because I also do angels and stuff. So the subject matter is right up my alley.
Oh yeah.
But not everyone like there's a lot, I think people generally like him, but Pete's not exactly the most mainstream online artist because not everyone gives a shit about angels. They just don't.
But his angels are fucking sweet.
They are
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah, they are sweet.
He has an undeniable like cool factor that sort of like breaks that the subject matter kind of divide too.
Yeah, oh totally.
And because he's not depicting like, it's not like all of his angels are like classic angels. Like they're pretty crazy, looking designs.
Funny
Yeah.
enough, that's actually the main thing I have to offer is that Pete, although his character designs are really fucking cool and he actually does know quite a bit about the lore. He doesn't know the lore the way I do. Like that.
Yeah.
I was in that space, and so that's actually one thing I have to offer is that yeah, you go to Pete when you're like you just want cool ass designs, but you actually probably go to me when you want some fidelity to the source material, which that's not Pete's project. He doesn't give a shit about that. He just wants the designs to look cool.
Yeah. I remember him, like, I think I overheard him talking about, like, he did, like, a tarot project or something.
Yeah, he was working on that for a while, yeah.
Yeah, and he kind of, like, was just talking about what a social media flop it turned out to be. Like, he was hoping it was going to be better received.
He had,
and,
50% the usual, likes or even viewership. And it really surprised him. Because he's like, I thought tarot cards were in, but it's like apparently the algorithm doesn't give a shit. But also, what I loved about that also when he talked about that was that he was like, okay, cool, and so he just pivoted, and I just love that he didn't take it personally, and it wasn't an ego thing. He was just like, okay, now I know.
It also seemed like the impression I got, and this might be a false impression though, is that he was like, is that he didn't have like a personal stake in tarot, like as a subject matter that he cared a ton about. And that's why it was kind of one of those things where it was like, so like what anybody would bring to the table, that Pete Moorbacher, obviously incredibly skilled designer, but like he doesn't actually care about that thing. Like you can still come into that space and make like a bigger impact potentially because you have some kind of expertise in it. Yeah.
And actually, within the space of people who like are occultists who actually have the creds, I actually might be one of the top like at this like in terms of technique. I'm probably like the top 25 artists. I think like because there's actually not a lot of like artists in that space who are really technically skilled the way that the three of us are, for example.
Because
and again,
they come at it like their interest is that stuff first and the art kind of like to express that, but
like here I have a few examples for you guys. The Golden Dawn Tarot was done by some members of the original Golden Dawn that I'm in. It's now published by US Games. Take a look at this shit. So the symbolism in these are spot on from the originals, like from various of the source material, but look how terrible this art is. Sorry, it's not terrible. Yeah, it's not terrible, but like it's clear that they weren't artists first,
Yeah.
Yeah.
This feels very like
they're pretty decent all things considered, but like
but it looks like that kind of old school like
Byzantine.
when I say old school I mean like really old school like pre-Renaissance like religious painting.
Yeah. And so my point is not to poo-poo that. It's just that I don't know Robert personally who did a lot of those paintings, but like to go back to your point, Nate, is he was a good enough painter to express himself visually, but his primary goal was to put the lore down, Yeah.
It's funny because that's like the primary goal of like the religious paintings that were done in that style. It was just like to deliver the the gospel, like, and not be like a beautiful piece of art. Like, yeah.
Yeah, and it's funny that we've like, after the fact, as artists, kind of extrapolated from a lot of that art that there was like this like virtuosity. We use words that they would not have used of themselves, like masters, and it's like it's and not that they're not, but the notion of a master is actually quite contextual. And a lot of times throughout history, people made art just because they needed to say something. That was it, And yeah, so I do have something unique to offer in that regard, which is that I'm actually, of our milieu, which is that I'm actually a quite technically trained artist, and I don't. Some people are like would say that I'm self-taught because I didn't go to art school, but I don't consider myself self-taught at all. I learned from Steven Zapanyan, that guy.
Yeah.
And countless other people, but yeah, so I consider myself actually a pretty trained artist, and it's just cool to be able to bring that into. Yeah, I'm really excited the next few years as I really lean into that kind of art. And I don't know, I have a really cool feeling about this exhibition that's going to connect me with people that maybe aren't necessarily going to be my customers, but maybe they will help me how to to think about how to prioritize my art,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have had versions of this by going to events, and then and Manny, you connected with some of the coolest people, fellow artists, and others. Yeah, at various cons you went to, and that's why I'm like, when I got the news just 2 days ago that I got selected for this, I actually have to admit that I wasn't totally surprised, but it still came as a sort of like, oh wow, what a pleasant, what a delightful like new change in my or just new opportunity, that had not been presented to me before.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome.
No, that's really cool. Yeah, we love to hear that. We love those
I'm a real
feel-good
artist,
stories.
I know people keep talking shit about me, but I think I'm a real artist,
Yeah. The stuff that like Manny and I say about you, that you wouldn't believe.
You
Yeah,
wouldn't,
it's just
believe.
Sam is
You wouldn't believe it.
Sam is so hot. Like if I had to with a guy, it would probably be with him. Is what you guys talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But terrible artist, Like we're just saying nice things to be nice, to not hurt their feelings. But man.
But just in case that moment arises, we're ready.
Just in case.
No, thank you. Fucking maybe. Yeah, fucking maybe. Yeah. No, thank you to Sam's art.
Thank you. So, have you found like a printer and stuff to do the canvas?
Yeah. So actually, the person who actually encouraged me to submit was the curator, which I part of why I wasn't surprised, because she had already kind of seen my art and kind of like pre-encouraged me to submit, which is, it's always a bit of a conflict of interest, right? Because she's trying to be impartial, because it was a full call for art, and I saw based on the comments of people in the original post, there were actually quite a few people who I think submitted. Because it's like in fucking Berkeley and it's Angel themed, so you can bet your ass there's a lot of artists there who are doing that.
Oh yeah.
And I think that they selected, I want to say like 8 artists, so like that's really cool, and I'm really stoked to like be in the select group. But anyway, actually I'm not the only artist who needs prints, and so she connected all of us to a local printer, Berkeley G-Clay, who's been around for like half a century, and this is the thing that they do. And they happen to be also like 2 blocks from where my godkids live, and so I already asked my godmom if she can pick up the print for me and drop it off, so I don't have to ship it.
Nice.
And yeah, so I got in touch with the shop owner today, and he's like, oh yeah, I'm sorry I didn't get back to your email yesterday. I'm actually going out on vacation next week, but actually we have 3 artists from the exhibition who are going to be doing this, so I'm just gonna compile all of your work and just send me the files, and I'll get to it as soon as I get back. It'll be before the show. So I was like, okay, cool. So yeah, they from what I can tell, they do pretty quality work. He had actually recommended doing it on water color paper for me because of the nature of the work, but the problem is that he wouldn't be able to frame and get it like mounted or framed in time, and then like I had to figure that out. So I was like, just do it on canvas print. I agree with you that would probably be better, but like I think that it'll just be faster that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I think I've told you guys that I did canvas on imprint, and it looked good as you would expect from that. But the thing about digital is like printing it on canvas is kind of cheesy, to be honest, because it's not. Yeah, it actually my digital art looks best on like that kind of it's the one I printed my Haniel piece on. I forget what imprint calls it, but it's almost like it's like a chrome metal backing. Oh, do you know what website? Have you guys seen the ads for Displate? That website?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like that. Like it's kind of like printed on this like metal thing, and it looks like you're looking at a screen, which is what the digital art is kind of made for. So
Yeah.
I kind of like, yeah, I actually agree with the shop owner. The funny thing is he wasn't trying to upsell me because the watercolor print would have been cheaper for me, and the G-Clay is going to be more expensive.
Oh, wow.
So he was actually just being honest. But I was like, yeah, in terms of just given how soon the show is, he's like, yeah, okay, that's fine. But yeah, it's cool to be like working with someone local as well. That's gonna be really chill.
Hell yeah, dude. That's awesome.
I'm an artist.
Getting in touch with the community, getting involved, making shit,
Well-
doing shit. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I'm putting my art on for sale. I had a whole conversation with the curator about it because they get a cut,
Yeah.
And she's like, if you want to put it not for sale, it's totally fine. We're not requiring you guys, but just if you do sell it, we ask for a 30% cut. I was like, yeah, but so, I gave her this narrative that you guys have heard me say before, which is like, well, I'm a lawyer, and I just feel uncomfortable, like a corporate lawyer. I'm pretty well paid, and I feel really uncomfortable with asking, for money. And she's like, like I understand what you're saying, and it's up to you, but like I just left a big corporate position actually to do this full time. Now that she's doing her own art and she's curating this gallery, and they're paying her a little bit for it, she was able to like figure out how to do this full time. And she's like, I just encourage you to value your art and to own your art. And I understood the hint that she was giving, so I actually said, okay, I'm gonna take your advice. And she's like, so I was like, I will put each of the paintings up for, I think I'm gonna put the large G-Clay up for $500, and then my smaller one, my Michael one, which I don't want too big because it's not that like detailed. That one will go for 400, and I don't think they're gonna sell, but if they do, like that feels right to me to ask for that amount, because like just the cost of printing them out is gonna be like 110 each or something like that,
Oh, wow.
and so yeah, so because it's gonna be really like quality canvas, and so I'm just like, but then I'll also just on the notion of it being fine art. I mean, the thing we need to remember we talked about it at Lightbox with Kai, is in the fine art space, $500 is nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing. Yeah.
He had those like small paintings up for like 300 to 400.
Yep.
Like just those little ones. I mean, and then they had like 22 grand. Like.
Yeah, I paid for his Michelangelo the Ninja Turtle one because that's my favorite Ninja Turtle.
Nice.
And it cost me $200, and like it stung a little bit because of how much money I spent that weekend. But it has a very special place in my room, and I love looking at it. But yeah, in that space, when you go to those events, the fine art events, I mean, paintings start at like $5,000, so
yeah.
I just feel like me asking for 500 is like a way of me testing the waters of feeling more comfortable asking for value without, I don't know, without being too ridiculous, I guess.
Yeah, I think that's reasonable. So.
Yeah, I think so. And I don't know, just like it also reflects all of the hard work I put into, like not just those pieces, but like what they represent of the work I've done the last few years.
Yeah.
I will say, like, some people might be like, oh, this might be a really cool opportunity, like maybe you'll find like customers and stuff. I was like, speaking to you two, like I'm just trying not to put that energy into it because I don't know, right? But what I think I can count on is, this is just a variation of what I said earlier, is connecting with people who are into that kind of art, whether that's as patrons or customers or fellow artists. I think that's invaluable, is to expand that community.
I agree.
I mean, I don't know, Ben Hill's not here, but that's how you met him, and he's hot. So.
Dude, it's so funny how we met, and then we just run into each other at Heroes Con, just walking to a drink and draw, and Kevin and I just seemed to be just walking right behind him and his buddy, and we were about to like walk around them, and then Kevin looks over, he's like, "Wait, I know you," and he's like, "Hey, I know you," and then we just went after that. That was it. We were just hanging out with the rest of the night.
Honestly, that's how a lot of my favorite pornos start. So
Yeah. Weird, same.
Yeah.
and people are like, "Oh, what porn category do you watch on Pornhub?" And I'm like, obviously artists running into each other at conventions.
Duh.
That's the title of the category. Yeah. Can you imagine like a gay porn category that's like bros being bros?
That's easy. That's fairly easy for a creative artist like us to imagine. That's no great shakes.
No great shakes.
Yeah, actually, the closest category I know of that's like that is it's like straight and gay or straight guy, and the guys are never straight.
Yeah.
I think the point of the category is it's like guys who are straight passing, you know, like they look like broy dudes.
Yeah.
Actually, not my favorite category. Not my favorite category. I'm not. It turns out I don't fetishize straight guys. I prefer. Yeah, that's probably healthy.
Probably healthy. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. That's probably a good thing.
That's probably good.
I mean, you could be in, yeah, I mean, granted, of all the things, yeah, that you could be into, not nearly the most problematic, so.
I agree. I'm assuming it's all consensual.
Yeah.
That's good. This is good.
Consensual
The
sweet
lowest
sex.
possible, what do you call it? The low, just like the baseline.
Yeah.
Like minimal.
I know what you're getting at. For some reason, I'm having trouble finding the words.
Yeah, it's late. It's late. Well.
Speaking of which, heads up that I will probably be leaving in about 15 minutes to get ready for bed.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get off probably earlier than that. I'm just messing around with this thing.
Yeah. I started screwing around with one of my paintings, and I don't know if that was wise.
Yeah. Yeah. I get you. I mean, I was doing the same thing. Boom. I'm basically inking another page. So.
Mm-hmm. I mean, that was sick, though. Yeah.
Just a face, you know.
Yeah. Also, I feel bad because Ben's been like posting things in chat, and I've been talking about it because we're too busy broing out.
Oh, it has you?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, he posted that. Nice. Oh yeah.
Yeah, dang. I've had like a wild sleep schedule this last week. There were a couple days I like went to bed at like 1 o'clock, and then there were a couple days that I was like, I for some reason feel totally exhausted. I need to go to bed right now at like 8:30.
I need to leave.
I need to leave. Get me out of here, dude.
I need to go.
It's just like flipping crazy.
Freaking crazy, bro.
Freaking crazy.
Oh my god.
These mech wings are going to be really cool to sculpt. The one I just sketched that I just posted.
Yeah, that's gonna look dope, dude.
Yeah. For some reason, I don't know why this is giving me like Samurai Jack vibes. I think it's because I thought, like, is he holding a sword? What is he holding?
He's holding a flag in that. Yeah, I kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of stylized it so it doesn't read as a flag necessarily, but
It's well, I think it because I didn't expand it. I was just like looking at it small, and then I was like, okay, that looks But it gave me samurai sword vibes, which he does get a samurai sword, right?
Oh yeah.
That's a thing.
he does. Yeah, at the very end from one of the kaiju who dies.
One of the avatar, like the samurai
Oh, yeah,
avatar. Yeah. He gets stabbed or gets crushed by something, and then Murder Falcon comes in, catches the sword before it falls to the ground, and slices the kaiju in half. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. That's pretty tight. I started working on my little orc guy again in his trees.
Oh, yeah,
I still need to figure out how I want to do the bow.
Oh, that's so sick.
Him.
Oh, nice.
damn.
I'm really enjoying this one, but I think it's just because I get to noodle on tree bark and stuff. But it's also kind of dangerous to work on these when I'm really tired because I put most of this shit on this is like 3 layers, I think, of stuff. And there's like some background elements that are on their own layer, but like very much direct painting. So it's easy to mess shit up, actually.
Well, I guess on that note, let's call it a night. How about that?
Yeah.
Yeah, inking, you can't mess anything up doing that.
Yeah, right.
Like, that's yeah. There's nothing permanent about that shit.
I will say though, I think the thing that calmed me down was listening to a David Cho interview on Cartoonist Kayfabe. And
Yeah.
David Cho is just basically like, dude, it's ink on paper. Like, who fucking cares? It's like, if something's wrong with it, paint over it. Who cares? It's like no one's stabbing you.
Yeah, you're not gonna get shanked for this, probably.
Just draw. I mean, there was one dude in my printmaking class. I was like, well, if you use whiteout, you gotta just start over entirely. I'm like, why? Why not just cover it up with white acrylic or something and then not restart? But that's just me. That's because I'm lazy, and I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't restart. So that sounds awful. Anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're gonna call it here, friends.
It's been fun, guys. Yeah, I think it's time for bed. Time for Betty bye.
Yeah, I gotta wash my butt. So.
Ooh, hot.
Yeah. But alright, thanks everyone.
You didn't wash your butt before stream, dude? That's disgusting.
I almost did, and then I didn't. I was like, I gotta go stream with my friends. With my friends. Yeah. So that's what happened. Now I'm here. Anyway. Time for bed. Yeah, I appreciate you guys hanging out, coming on here and keeping me company. That was great.
Oh, yeah.
Problemo.
Yeah. Until next time, my friends.
Well, see you next time.
Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Love you. Bye.